Without further ado, welcome in everybody! My name is Erin. I'm going to host a step-by-step painting tutorial here on Twitch right now for you, as I do most Fridays. I guess I shouldn't say most anymore. Sometimes I'm a little sporadic in this month and last month, but most Fridays at 8 p.m. EST, I host step-by-step painting tutorials. So welcome into this one. The painting today, as you can see on my screen, is this lovely one right here. All the paintings I teach are original paintings that I create. I usually actually create them live on Twitch as well, like during the week on other streams, if you're interested. But yeah, otherwise, this is something I created a few weeks back, and I'm reteaching it nice and slow over about 2 hours for you. So you can see it on my screen, and when we actually start, I'm gonna go over to this screen where you can see this live version here. I'm gonna paint along with you on my canvas, and I like to keep a little reference here so that you can kind of see the finished piece, just in case you kind of want to see what you're aiming for at the end there. But yeah, it's important to remember, you don't have to follow every single step that I do. If you want to change up colors or orientation or the subject matter, you want to do some dolphins kind of jumping out of the water, you want to put more birds in the sky, change it up in any way. Maybe you just want to use this as an excuse to get creative. That's totally fine too. Sandy, thank you for resubscribing for 10 months. Thank you so much. Welcome in. Just in the middle of my introduction, so thank you again, and enjoy the toot if you're here to paint or just to watch along. Thank you so much. But yeah, just again, please feel free to get creative. There's no rules here. You won't be kicked out of the stream if you don't follow me along with me. So yeah, do absolutely whatever you want. I'm just a big supporter of doing some art, getting creative, relaxing on a nice Friday night. So thanks for joining me. And yeah, even if you're not doing any painting or creative anything, that's totally fine too. Feel free to just kind of chat along and enjoy everyone's company tonight. In terms of the supplies, you're always welcome to type !supplies in the chat, and a little list will pop up just in case you want to review all the supplies, but I keep it the same every time for all of my step-by-step tutorials. I always use the same 3 brushes. So as usual, I have a large flat brush, I have a medium round brush, and a small round brush, and that's just my choice. If you want to kind of try different brushes or have different sizes, that's totally fine as well. In terms of paint colors, I actually don't use all of my usual 5, so usually I stick with 5 paint colors. I do red, yellow, phthalo blue, black, and white. This time I do red, a little tiny bit of yellow, some phthalo blue, white, and then no black in this one. I just use some dark purples for the shadows and everything, so if you don't have black tonight, that's totally fine, don't worry. I'm doing the 3 primary colors plus white for the highlights. So yeah, just to review that, you can do the 4 colors rather than 5. Other things to have include a cup of paint water. I always suggest that. Hopefully you have some sort of a paint palette. I have my iconic soon-to-be volcano plate. This is just a soon-to-be big pile of paint, but this is my paper plate that I continue to use with acrylic paint just stacking on top. So yeah, multi-use. You can use it as long as you want to keep holding it up as it gets heavier and heavier. Hopefully you're wearing an apron or something you don't mind getting paint on. Shout out Terry for the apron. Thank you as always. And otherwise, yeah, maybe a paper towel or towel is good to have just to kind of wipe off brushes as you go. And then otherwise, that's kind of all you need to know for the tutorial. But yeah, if you ever want to kind of check out other places to find me, just know that I'm on YouTube. YouTube is where I post all of my step-by-step tutorials after they air here live on Twitch. So if you want to ever review, you know, this tutorial later or check out anything I've done in the past, you can go to YouTube. I'm just going to put all the socials in the chat there for you. But yeah, I'm pretty much erinbunpaints on everything. So YouTube, Instagram, there's a Discord if anyone wants to join our community Discord. Facebook is where I post all of my events to RSVP to and to kind of like display the paintings that I'll be teaching. Twitter, which I don't use really. And then I have a Pinterest page as well, which I need to update, but it's still filled with content as well. So all the socials if you wish to follow. Otherwise, I appreciate you being here. And Sandy subscribed. You're fun. Thank you so much. And I guess, yeah, I'll shout out anyone who's subscribing right now. That's an extra way to support me as an artist and as a streamer. Those who are subscribing are essentially giving me kind of like a monthly donation almost to encourage me to keep streaming. So Cindy's been doing that for 12 months. So thank you so much. She's a 1-year-old bun. Hype for Cindy. There we go. And yeah, there's lots of information about other ways to support me. Again, my full intention is to continue to do these for free, but if you ever want to like give me a little extra as a little thank you, if you've been enjoying my tutorials for a long time, or just, yeah, want to say thanks, there's some tip information there. You can subscribe or tip directly, lots of different options, but again, totally optional, not expected, just appreciated. So thanks so much. that, I'll do a little quick cheers and then we can get started. I'm just gonna mute for a second because I need to grab some blue out of this bottle. It's gonna be quite loud, so give me one quick second. Thanks so much. Yeah, we need blue for the first step. We're going to be mixing like a bluish purple for the first step, so I'm looking right at the top here. So if you haven't, like me, if you haven't prepped your palette like me, you can prep by adding some blue and red. And I'm going to start with my nice big brush. I would grab just the biggest brush you have. And I'm mixing lots of blue with just a little bit of red. So it's like a, again, bluish purple. It's like a very, very deep dark purple. Lots of blue, a little bit of red. Cheers. Oh no, you'll never miss the cheers. You're welcome to cheers at any time. I'm happy to cheers anytime, even if it's past the start. Alright, so first step, very straightforward. We're just gonna put that bluish purple along the top. There's gonna be lots of just kind of adding nice purples and pinks and blending together to begin with, so very relaxed. I will note, if this is your first time painting with acrylics, they do dry a little bit quick. So you'll kind of see me moving from color to color a little quickly. I wouldn't say super quickly, but just like, you know, not taking all the time in the world. And that's because in order to help them blend, we want them to be wet. We want each color that we're blending to be wet on the canvas. So we're going to try and move at a relatively good pace here. I wouldn't say quick, but I wouldn't say slow. Then just kind of stick that somewhere around the top. You can see maybe just about an inch or two down. I'm not great with measurements. I usually just use fingers for measurements. This is like 4 fingers worth. And yeah, no need to be perfectly straight either. You can see my line is kind of jagged here. I'll be doing lots of blending to kind of softly move the colors together, so no need to make it perfect. Yeah, Grok about Twitch says we all have questions in the beginning. Yeah, no one pops onto Twitch knowing everything. Everyone's kind of like, what are subscriptions? Why is this bun flipping around on your screen? Yeah, feel free to ask anything. We don't judge here. It's a very welcoming and lovely community. And often, you can see I'm slow at reading chat sometimes, depending on the number of people. Sometimes people even answer your question before I can, so please go ahead and ask. Yeah. Lynn even says, I was new at Twitch before, and this group and you, Erin, helped me a lot. You know so much now, Lynn. You're so in tune now. You know about the emotes, you know about Peppa Hank, like, you know references to Twitch. It's so, so great. Yeah. Yeah, Ali also says, I've been here a year and I still have questions. I mean, me too. I stream on Twitch and I still have questions about Twitch. All the time I ask my chat about what is this or what is this new thing or like something I just discovered, so even I ask the questions, yeah. Me, the streamer, I know, when I hit the bottle on the, yeah, my camera isn't super stable, it goes boom, boom, boom. That's why I mute, because it would be very loud otherwise. Oh, and Marion says, don't forget the edges. It's always something I forget to say these days. Yeah, feel free to put your brush on the sides if you're using a wrapped canvas like me. There's all this lovely, you know, top edge here and the side. And I'll tell you, recently I've been trying to touch up my paintings to sell. I'm trying to open up an art store sometime this month. And I haven't been painting my edges, I realized, on my personal paintings, and I'm paying for it because I'm now going back and trying to color match everything to paint the edges, because I think it just looks a little more cleaned up that way. So yeah, just do it while you paint, then you don't have to worry about that later. I've learned the hard way, so learn from my mistakes. Oh, I didn't do a Vogue pose. I'll do that at the end, Destiny. If you remind me, I'll absolutely do it. Thank you. For those who don't know what Destiny means by a Vogue pose, I was saying earlier how when I post to YouTube, I find it hard for me to find a screenshot within the video to use as a thumbnail. I'm always like kind of awkwardly talking. So I've made a joke that now I need to make a section of this video where I'm purposely smiling into the camera to make a nice pretty thumbnail. So I'll do that at the end. We can do a little Vogue modeling for everybody. Alright, so we have this bluish purple on. Now what we're going to do is we're going to move down the canvas a little bit, kind of in here. And we're just going to add a little more red to our purple. So we're not really lightening it up, we're just kind of changing the tone a little bit. It's more of like a berry toned purple or royal purple, something like that. So I'm just grabbing red, putting it into my previous purple and mixing it up. It's going to still look very dark, but again, you'll see it's a different tone. And again, just kind of swiping that on. I like to put the color on first and then blend it, so you'll see that I kind of swipe it on and then I'll start to actually blend it into the bluish purple after. Only about another inch or two. I want to leave lots of room so we can get some lighter purples and then eventually some pinks in there, so just a little bit for now. And once I have those two colors on, you can see what I'm doing is I'm taking my brush and brushing in between the two colors. So what my brush is doing is picking up a little bit of both, and it's moving them together. So again, that's important to keep both colors wet, because if they're dry, if one of them's dry, they're not going to blend together on the canvas. So again, that's why we move it relatively quick, just to make sure nothing is totally drying here. But yeah, move your brush in between. You can swipe it back and forth or even a little angled because the sky has lots of streaks going on. Nothing's really horizontal here. So yeah, move it wherever you need to get those colors to blend. Oh, Shay has some questions. Just blue or has, it had a little bit of red in it. Sorry, I know that took a little bit to answer, but yeah, tiny bit of red in there. Hi, Erin. This is from Sasaga. I'm following you, but Erin, you put on pie, please. Sorry, but Erin, you put on pie. Please take care of yourself. I'll take care of myself. Thank you. No worries, Asif. Thank you for popping in, following me. Thank you so much. Yeah, I've seen you in chat before. Welcome back. I've been offline for a little bit, but I'm back, so no worries. And Crow's here. Welcome back, Crow. It's been nice seeing you so often. Welcome in. I'm doing my step-by-step, obviously. Are you painting along? I know you said you might be. Curious to know. Oh, Lynn, any age. Yeah, all ages. Twitch is difficult. Twitch is hard. Twitch has a lot of things going on that we don't know about, so it's all good. Yes, Crow. Oh, it's the worst, now that I've realized. Macrob, thank you for resubscribing. There's a lot of resubscriptions, lots of support tonight, so thank you very, very much. Welcome in as well. I'm just catching up a little bit on chat, and then I'll be continuing to teach, so thank you for continuing to support me. I hope you're having a great night. Maybe you're painting, maybe you're not, but I'm glad you're here, so thank you. Just watching the B-toot. Oh, yeah, that's why I'm talking about the vote. Oh, okay, so you know. Yeah, I've only been doing that a few toots now, because it's something I realized when I was editing. It was one of my least favorite parts, was going back and trying to find a screenshot that didn't look horrendous, because when you're talking, you're like, your face is all over the place, so yeah, now. You've only got the B left to do, I need a break. Yeah, I understand. There's lots of paintings to do, so no worries at all, Destiny. I'm glad you're enjoying the B, though. Alright, so just to recap, we have the bluish purple, which, yeah, was blue with a tiny bit of red, and then this next purple was more red into that mixture, so, I would say maybe half red, half blue at that point. It's just more of a royal purple. Now that we're moving even further down, I'm going to start lightening the purple now. So I'm going to add some white to my palette. And I'm going to add just a little bit of white to the purple I was just using. So I'm just kind of continuing to use the same pile. Just going to grab a little bit of white and mix it in. You can see it lightens it up just a wee bit. I don't want it to be a lavender or anything quite yet. Just kind of like a brighter purple. Brighter, lighter purple. Hopefully you can see a little bit of a difference on my plate there. It's nice and light in the middle now. And again, I'm just going to start sweeping that on. That's the great thing about this sky, everybody. You don't need to put all the colors in the exact same spots as I do. I'm just kind of adding them and making them a little bit lighter as they go, streaking it up. However, I'm sure my sky here will be slightly different than this one, even though I'm trying to make it similar. So if yours looks a little different, or there's a color kind of going off to the left when it isn't on mine, don't worry about it at all. So again, the slightly lighter purple, I'm just trying to streak that on. And as I go down, you'll see I start to kind of like separate the streaks a bit, just so it's not like one color, one color, one color. I'm gonna start to leave some gaps here and there, kind of angle some streaks rather than keeping it all horizontal. So yeah, you're welcome to do the same, get a little more loose with it as you get more comfortable. And just keep blending. So every time I add a color, I go back and I start to blend it into the color above. So just swiping across in between the two colors. And that way everything kind of just flows together nicely. That's why I chose these three colors, kind of blue, purple, and pink, because all of them blend together nicely. So there's really no fear of like blending the wrong colors together. So again, just feel free to be a little more messy with this, a little more free and flowy. Grok says, oh, I was at the store today. They had Canadian Dadu ice cream with maple syrup. Oh, I honestly don't know what Dadu ice cream is, but maple syrup ice cream is delicious. I've had it with maple syrup kind of swirled in. Delicious. Let me know what you think if you've had it. Yeah, Crow says I'm slowly learning Twitch. See, there's so many. See, It's good that people are saying this because it allows the others to go, oh, I'm not the only one. Yeah. You'll see it's easy and fun. Absolutely. Pretty sure it's behind. Oh, on the notification? That's okay. Sometimes people resubscribe, Macrob, and then it notifies the next time you're in chat, so all good. Thanks for resubscribing whenever that may have been. All good. Thanks. No, I wanted to... Oh, about painting, not feeling well? All good. That's okay. Yeah. If that's something unexpected that happens, or there's anything else that... Don't worry about it. No pressure. Paint when you feel like it. It shouldn't really be a forced thing. I would hope it's never like a forced thing that you have to paint, so yeah, if you're not feeling it, don't worry about it. In case you missed it, I said it at the start, but this video will be up on Twitch for as long as possible. I think it's like a couple months, and then it eventually moves to YouTube, hopefully before a couple months, but sometimes I take a while. So yeah, if you ever want to paint this another time, totally fine. Otherwise, I'm sure I'll do another live one coming up soon, so all good, Crow. You paint when you want to. Right, so I've done this kind of like medium tone purple now. I want to go back to my bluish purple and do kind of a medium version of that instead of the super dark version. So you can kind of see a pattern here. I'm just continuing to kind of add more blue or add more red and then lighten it up. So again, I'm going back to my bluish tone purple, so that's going to be mostly blue with a little bit of red. Or if you want to make it easy on yourself, you can just add some blue to your previous mixture, and that'll create kind of a lighter blue tone purple. If that wasn't clear, that was a little jumbled. I'm mixing together lots of blue, a little red, and then a little white in there as well, so it's kind of like a lighter version of what we started with. Bluish purple, but lighter. Blue tone purple, but make it lighter. And again, I'll say again, nothing has to be the exact same. You can kind of, again, see the pattern that I'm going with here. I'm just kind of making lots of versions of purple, lighter versions as I go down. So again, if you kind of have a different process to that, or different tones or different colors you're using, you can just use that same idea and do whatever you like. So I'm filling in that little gap I left, and now you can see I have some streaks going because the colors are separated. It looks like maybe I added some on the side here. Again, trying to keep to my original, but it might be slightly different. Can never get it exact, no matter how hard I try. So bluish purple, lighter bluish purple in here, here, and then it looks like I even left a big gap and brought some down here. And what we'll do is we'll blend some pinks around that to kind of soften it up. So you can see it looks very bold and scary right now. We're just kind of streaking that across. Smaller streaks kind of in here. And again, we'll work relatively quickly to try our best to blend that into our pink. If we run into an issue of this drying too quickly, I have solutions to that, just so you know. So if you need to take a little more time, that's fine. But otherwise, I'm going to place that down there. I'll give everyone a minute or two to add that, and then we're going to start to add some pinks to that as well. Macrob says, not painting, was playing a video game. I definitely want to try it out after. It's on YouTube. Yeah, for sure. Stopping real quick before I go do dishes. Oh, thank you, Macrob. Yeah, no worries. I appreciate all that effort considering you're gaming and then doing dishes. You have a busy Friday. No worries at all. I'll try my best to put this on YouTube as soon as possible. I was saying earlier that I'm pretty caught up now in all of my tutorials. I did a lot of uploading over the past couple weeks, so there's not a whole lot of backlog anymore, so it should be relatively quick this time. Lynn says there must be different quality in the Arsloff paint because I bought some phthalo blue and it's not like the one before. I know, yeah, phthalo blue specifically, Lynn. I don't mess around with other brands because I find that mine is the best. Sorry, but it is. Vlogiston, thank you for resubscribing as well. Lots of you coming in today to resubscribe. I wish I could paint along with you, but I don't have the paint now. All good, Vlogiston. You keep sketching. That's absolutely okay. Thank you so much for resubscribing for 8 months for you. One away from a baby, almost at a year. Thank you so much, and hope you're having a good Friday night. Sensational says, or Shireen says, I think I went low, so I may not have enough room for water. Is that okay? Yeah, oh, that makes total sense, and that's fine. The good thing about acrylic is that you can kind of stack on top, so if you actually went too low, that's absolutely fine. I think I'm going a little low, actually, too. I always say do more than you think. It's always, you know, not a fun time if you do too little and then you have to fill in gaps. It's way easier to go further down than you think and then just stack paint on top. So I was talking about how acrylic paint dries pretty quick. That's the benefit. It'll dry quick, then you can go on top with whatever you want. So totally fine. Yeah, thanks for checking, but that'll be absolutely fine. I'm gonna move on relatively quick because I want to make sure this is still wet to blend in. If you need to take some time, please go ahead. After this step, I'll pause a little bit to make sure everyone's caught up. But now I'm gonna make a really nice hot pink. Super bright hot pink, all in here, and a little bit lower as well. So what I'm doing is after washing off my brush, I am going to give it a wash because I don't really want any blue hanging out in this color. I'm going to grab white, mix with a lot of red, and that's going to create a lovely, super hot pink. And yeah, Lynn was just bringing up a good point. Certain brands are going to create different tones and kind of like different finishes. So if yours again looks a little different than mine, it might not be anything you're doing wrong. It might just be the paint. So blame the paint. If you want the brands of paint I use, I can absolutely give them to you, but again, just use whatever you got, and don't worry if there's slight differences in tone or color. Oh, I'm running out of this too. I gotta refill some paints here. This is getting down to the wire. Alright, lots of red, a little bit of white. That makes it lovely. Hot pink. And I'm just slopping this in a large area here. I love the pink in the sky, so I'm adding lots of it. So once again, I'm gonna stick it on first, and then I'll start to blend it into the colors around it. I just want to quickly start to fill up some space here. Get those edges as you go. And again, I am looking at mine to try and stick to the same kind of idea and same layout, but if it looks a little different, if your streaks go a little different in terms of direction, that's totally fine. No right or wrong. It's just your painting. You can choose how it looks. And I will be adding some lighter pinks kind of within these. For now, what I like to do is I just like to cover in pink to kind of cover the bases almost. Like I'm not leaving many gaps at this point. I'm trying to cover most of my sky now, if not all of it. And then I can always like stack on lighter pinks or blend in lighter pinks if I want to, or different purples, anything else you want. So just filling in those gaps. In terms of how far down, in case anyone's wondering, you can see I'm kind of like going just below halfway. I wouldn't say it's a 2/3 of the way down, it's somewhere in between half and 2/3, so anywhere in there. And as I was just saying to Shireen, if you go lower, that's absolutely fine. And then just blending away, so I'm just moving my brush in between the pink and all the other colors around it. So you can stroke, again, in between kind of the bluish purples and the pink. You can see how it kind of moves it around, blends it out, softens it up. It might mean some of the pink is kind of covered up, but that's okay. There's lots of pink here, so if the purple travels, that's not a problem. And just, yeah, continuing to stroke as the two colors are wet. I'm gonna read some comments and then I have a few more things to say about this step here. Heavy body mono, yeah, heavy bodies sometimes are preferred. I'm so late on the comments, though. I didn't comment on the Soapy song. But I know it. I heard it. I felt soapy too. I felt bubbly. Answer your question, Lynn. What paint are you using before? Oh, I think she usually uses mine, Todd, like the thinner body Start Academic Acrylic. Two phthalo blues. Yeah, that's true too. There's actually different phthalos. I learned that semi-recently. I didn't go to art school, don't tell anybody, but yeah, there's different phthalos as well, kind of green-based and red-based. Honestly, I don't really know which one mine is because it doesn't say. I think, because I don't think it's green-based, I just don't know if it's red. Anyway, if anyone knows what the Start Academic Acrylic is, red or green-based, you can let me know. Yeah, not wrong. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Lynn, you do whatever you want. If you like mine better, I mean, that's motivation to go get that one, of course. But it's all up to what you like. It's not wrong at all. It's just a different brand. It'll be a little different from what you see on mine. So you can see eventually if you get comfortable and you like have enough paint and maybe not as much on your brush, you can start to just sweep all the way across if you want. I find after I apply all the paint that I need to, and I'm just kind of, you kind of have the two wet colors or lots of wet colors on your canvas, you can kind of just move them around just by brushing back and forth kind of lightly. So you still maintain some streakiness, but you also allow kind of the softness to come through. But yeah, just keep in mind that things will blend a little bit more, so you can see a little more purple blending in here, it gets a little darker down here. So it depends how clean you want it versus how blended you want it. And then I was going to say one more thing as well. If you get to a point where things aren't blending, it's just because one of your paint colors is dry. So I wanted to mention that because it has been a little bit now since we've added our bluish purple, and some of you might be brushing along and kind of saying nothing is blending. I just am stacking on pink paint and nothing's really moving or happening. So if that's a problem or if that's happening to you, all you need to do is re-add some of the dry colors. So you can re-grab your bluish purple or whatever color it is, add a little bit to your canvas wherever it was, so you're kind of applying a fresh coat, and then I would wipe off your brush and just brush away again. So again, the idea is you just re-add the color that is dry, then I would wipe off your brush just so you're not continuing to add more of the color, and then you're using somewhat of a clean brush just to move those colors around and allow them to blend. Okay, so what I see missing from here versus my original are these lighter streaks, so I'm going to add those next, maybe in the next minute or two. I want to try and add them while things are wet, but I wanted to give time in case people were still blending. So take your time for a minute or two, and then I will do that last little step with the sky. And again, if you want to keep adding, no worries, you don't need to follow the exact steps. If you want to add more of the royal purple, the reddish purple, add some streaks of that. If you wanted more pink, go ahead. Yeah, all up to you. Red base is warmer green. So yeah, that's the thing, because like I've seen green based phthalos, and I don't think this is the green based one. I don't know whether to call it warm or cool. I'm so bad about color theory stuff, and again, things you would probably learn in school because I didn't do that. So I don't know what to call this. It doesn't really say. I wish it told me. I think this brand has a phthalo green, for example, and I don't know if that's even different. It's not green-based phthalo, but phthalo green. It's quite literally way more green than this. I don't know. I need to do some comparisons or something. I need to maybe ask a Curry's employee next time I go. Yeah, Phlogiston, just say, it's that color, so I don't know what the name. It's that one. Guys, I'm using this one. Good, Phlogiston, yes. Good question. Yeah, Crow is saying, where do you get your paints from? Yeah, so I go to Curry's art store, which I think is Canada-wide, but if not, it might just be province-wide. I live in Southern Ontario. Start Academic Acrylic is what it is. Here's a better picture of the label there. Start Academic Acrylic. So I buy it because it comes in these huge bottles because I paint a lot. Relatively cheap. I think it's about $18 Canadian, maybe around 20 after tax. It's not too expensive compared to other brands. And yeah, 2 whole liters. It's a big bottle, so it lasts a long time. And yeah, again, everyone has preferences in terms of like heavier body acrylics or thinner acrylics. This is just what I've used for a long time, so it's something I'm used to. So I like it. Maybe you try it and you don't like it, and that's okay. You can experiment with different brands, but I think it's a great budget brand. And I swear I can't find a phthalo blue like this in other brands, so I keep saying that. People say, how do you get your blue so bright and therefore your purple so bright? It's this phthalo blue specifically. So yeah, if anyone ever finds an alternative for it, please let us know, but it's the only real one I've found that produces that bright blue, especially when you mix it with white. It's like an electric blue. It's beautiful. Oh, so yeah, for example, Lynn says my favorite is from Demco, I believe it was. Demco? Hey Tina! Thank you so much! Subscribe, yeah, long time, no worries! Thank you so much. Hype for Tina, everybody. Welcome Tina back to the chat. For 2 months subscribing. Thank you very much for thinking to come back and resubscribe. I'm just in the middle of a step-by-step acrylic painting tutorial, but I'm glad you're here. If you want to tell us about how your night's going or any updates or anything, feel free. Otherwise, I'm just gonna continue on with the next step here and then I'll keep chatting. But yeah, sorry, just to highlight one more time, Lynn said from Demco, so phthalo blue from Demco. Try that if you don't like this or if you can't find this. Yeah, Demco. Lots of other brands that are great, different price points and different places to buy them. Curry's art stores where I go. You can go to Michael's, they have lots of stuff. People use the dollar store and I've heard mixed reviews. Some people think that paint is not great, some people think it's fine. So it's whatever you want. I'm just gonna play with the brightness. I think I'm kind of over brightening this a little bit. That might be a bit better. I'll try that. Cool. Alright, so one more color I'm adding is kind of like a light pink, almost white. You can kind of see it within here. Within here, it just kind of lightens up the bottom area a little bit more because I want it to be lighter near the bottom and darker near the top. So I'm just going to take my brush. I've washed it off already, so I would wash off yours if you haven't already. And I don't want it pure white, I want it to be kind of like a very pale pink. So I'm just grabbing a little bit of red on my brush, mixing it into a pile of white. And honestly, if your pink is still wet as well, it will kind of blend and mix and make it a little bit darker as well. So if you start very light, you'll still see it kind of darken up a tiny bit when you add it to your canvas. So just keep that in mind. So yeah, I'm just gonna try and add it in the same spots that I added before. So maybe a streak in here. I'm just applying it right on top right now, right on top of my wet paint. Let's go around here. Again, this will turn out probably a little different than my original, but that's fine. So I'm adding the paint on, and then what I'll do is I'll wash off my brush just so there's no extra paint, because I don't want the white to go everywhere. I want it to be just subtle little streaks. Wash off my brush, and then just wiping on top so that I'm kind of blending it into anything that's wet around it. So you can see it softens up the edges a bit and makes it more like a nice big streak right in the middle, wherever you want. Let's blend kind of up like this. So trying my best to move it into any wet paint around it. And I'll repeat again, maybe some paint is a little bit dry. It looks like it's a little dry down here, for example. Just go back and add any of your other colors. I'll add some hot pink, for example, and then brush into the white, and that'll soften it right up. So again, don't hesitate to re-add colors if you need to. Maybe I'll even do the same up here, just to help kind of soften that a bit, darken that a bit more. So yeah, use that technique with any colors if you want. I just kind of did it with that light pink there. That was me applying it directly on top of color. If you want to do that now with any other color, maybe go back to your, again, like reddish purple, lots of red, little blue. Add some little streaks here and there, maybe like right in here. Maybe a little more here. I just love the streaky sky versus like, again, it differs per painting, but in this painting I wanted it nice and streaky. Lots of different colors kind of overlapping, moving together. Sometimes I like a nice simple gradient where it does go from just dark to light, but again, this one I wanted to switch it up, so that's why I'm trying to really be a little more messy. Yeah. And Gray is here! Howdy, Gray! Sorry it took so long! Lots of questions today. It's all good though. Welcome in, Gray. How's your Friday night going? Phthalo green is entire. Yeah, okay, that's good, Todd. I thought so maybe, but again, I don't know. Phthalo green blue shade. Now it gets confusing, dude. Yeah. Cobalt. Yeah. So and there's many different kinds of blues. If I didn't say that already, cobalt blue. I have an ultramarine blue with me that I hardly ever use. Peacock blue. I don't know. There's so many blues, and depending on the brand, they kind of name them different things sometimes. Sometimes there's different blues that, yeah, aren't regular amongst other brands, so there you go. Sir. Lynn says, my secret errand for red, I bought it at the dollar store. There we go. See, I just said, yeah, some people love dollar store. It's called Christmas red, and for me it's the best. I bought some primary red more expensive and never able to do with that color. Reds, at least reds, I feel like I have a little bit more of a grasp on, that certain ones are yeah, warmer reds and cooler reds. I find the warmer reds I don't like as much. I like the cooler reds. They create better purples for me. The warmer reds kind of turn more salmon color, I find, when I add white to them. So yeah, even reds have different ones. I know it's really confusing, but the only way you can kind of learn is either by researching or just trying it and seeing what you like, right? So I encourage that. That's why I always recommend the budget brands to begin with, and then if you feel like you want to experiment more, you can always do that. And, you know, any art store, all the employees are always very knowledgeable. Again, don't be afraid to ask questions. I'm sure if you said, like, do you have paint swatches? Can I, like, look at it on a, you know, on a piece of paper? They'd be happy to allow you to do that, or they'd probably have something to show you. So don't hesitate to ask. Oh, sorry, Shireen, the last one there, that was a light pink. It's actually looking light purple because it mixed with the blue, but it was lots of white and a little red on my palette. Yeah. Kate says, oh boy, my sky looks stormy, really stormy and dark. Ooh, that may have just been lots of purple. To be fair, we did add lots of purple at the start, and then if maybe there wasn't as many gaps or maybe it blended a lot, the purple may have just moved a lot. In fact, I think mine looks a little dark in here. I'd like it a little lighter. So to fix that, you could keep trying to stack paint on, but if you have a dark color like purple, it's probably just going to keep blending and mixing into a darker color. So wait for it to dry a little bit, and then just try adding some lighter colors on top. So now you can really make sure, like, you'll add lighter purples or lighter pinks. Nessa, hey! Whoa, yeah! My gosh! Nessa, you and so many others today are part of this 1 year club. Thank you so much. That's absolutely crazy. Man, yeah, I'm so losing track of how long I've been on Twitch and then how long others have been with me. That's so special, Nessa. Thank you very, very much for resubbing there. Wow. I hope you've been well. I've been offline for a couple weeks, so it's been a while since I've seen a lot of you. But yeah, I hope everything's been good with you. I hope your jobs have been going well. I think you're still doing some school too. I hope your life isn't too chaotic. Feel free to update us on what's been going on. Thank you again. Oh, this is a dough. Vape Nation is a global emote? My gosh. I have a battery issue during these toots. I just need to switch them real quick, so give me a quick second. Oh, thank you, Gray. I'm sorry, I missed that question until just now, the color we mixed. But I got her now. Yay! The following blues, yeah. It's Cerulean, Ultramarine, Prussian, Cobalt, there's so many. There we go, and we're back, and I need to brighten this again. If I can. Hello? Not for a second. Oh, Alvin, the VOD is still up. Alvin asked how the mac and cheese experiments turned out. The VOD is up. Well, Gray, I still say it anyway. Gray says you can't say you're a new streamer anymore. I still say it anyway. I just need to look at the camera for a second because I think it looks kind of dark. 1 second. Keep blending away. That's been the step so far. Just continuing to blend this sky. ISO. There it goes. That's the one. Thank you. One sec, I'm gonna adjust that. There you go. That's much better. Alright, so again, keep blending away. If there's any other little shades you want to add, go ahead. I was just about to demonstrate for Kate and anyone else if they thought their sky got a little dark and stormy or you still want to change it. My paint is now pretty dry. Just go on top. You can start to pile it on top a little bit. Of course, it won't blend as well, but you can just start by adding one color, see how it looks on top, and if you need to blend more, you can start to add more colors around it just to soften it up. But for the most part, if you're kind of lightly adding it and not slopping on the paint, so just adding little bits to your brush and just lightly going across, you can see it kind of just starts to cover up slightly and maybe brighten up or darken whatever you want it to do, depending on what color you're adding. So yeah, feel free to just keep stacking on color if you need to. I'm just doing this with some pink to kind of keep brightening it up a little bit. I do want mine a little lighter as well. So I'll give maybe a couple more minutes for that. We're only about 45 minutes in, so we do have time to kind of mess around a little bit if you need to. Yeah, and I still want like a lighter streak, so I'm going to re-add that as well. Right in there, and blend that in. So again, just slowly adding some fresh paint, blending it into other fresh paint. So you can see how this one isn't blending, it's a little dry. Just need to grab more purple and then blend that in. And then I'll try and stop playing with it. That is something I always suggest too. If you like what you have, try your best to just give yourself a little break. Don't play with it, because sometimes things go a little awry when you keep playing when you really don't need to or when you don't want to. So if you like what you have, just enjoy sipping your drink, chat with us for a little bit. Yeah, and we can move on to the next step in a little bit. Nessa says, okay, yeah, sorry for the delay. Nessa says I've been well prepping for new work. Where's the new work now? Are you moving on from the hospital? I think, well, Shay's painting right now, Gray, so that's what she's painting first. Oh wow, Nessa, if you want to say where, go ahead. If you don't want to, that's absolutely fine, but yeah. Yeah. He might be, I don't know, Lynn. I haven't checked. Yeah. Grace says, it would be handy if Erin had a cameraman assistant to help do some simple tasks, nothing too complicated, something an assistant can handle, get some water, things like that. I've managed this whole time, I can keep going. Yeah, the battery thing, like, I don't really care. It's kind of a joke. I could just get one of those, you know, batteries that plug into the wall. It's just kind of a funny thing at this point, though, honestly, so... Oh, well, it's fine. I've managed fine. Different hospital in Cali. Okay. I assume you're excited for that move. That's a big move, I assume. California's coolness. I've only been a couple times. It is really neat, though. Beautiful weather, obviously. That's all they talk about. They're like, they always have the best weather. So you can enjoy that for sure. Great, welcome in. Were you here earlier? I'm so sorry if I missed you. You are. I'm so sorry if I missed you. I was answering a lot of questions there, but welcome in. I'm happy to have you. How's your Friday going? Kate says, anyone have a red Moscato before? I just opened a bottle now. I don't think I have. I'm not, is it a wine? I assume it's a wine, right? Not huge into wine. I have my few wines that I like, and then it's just kind of like, I'm good, I'm good. I can't say I have, though. Anyone else? Grace says, you'll keep the battery thing going until it says only for 10 minutes. Stays on for 10 minutes. Could you imagine having to change your battery? I couldn't. No, I won't. I'll figure out a solution, or I'll just buy more batteries. No, at that point, Gray, I need to find a solution, of course. I would not want to change it every 10 minutes, oh my gosh. Hey, Crystal! Oh, so many resubscribers, thank you so much! Crystal, I hope your Friday's going well. I want to say Friday evening, but you're hours and hours behind, so... Friday afternoon? I don't know if it's still afternoon for you. It probably is. Thank you so much for resubscribing for 4 months. Third of a year. How's your, how's your Friday in general going? I'm just doing a step-by-step tutorial right now. You know the drill, but yeah, feel free to chat. Welcome in. Phlogiston, you can get a bigger battery and duct tape it to the camera and just, like, somehow, like, configure it all so that 4 batteries are feeding into one. I like it, Phlogiston. I don't know if I have the smarts for that, but maybe someone on YouTube does. It's a blush wine. Oh, not my usual, but it's pretty okay. I would like to experiment. Red Moscato. Yeah, blush, rosés, things like that. I don't know much about. I like Cab Sauv. I like Merlots. Whites are hit and miss. I find them kind of dry. Otherwise, I'm not too picky. But yeah, I like other alcohols other than wine for the most part. Yeah. Rosés and blush wines I think are pretty safe though. They're usually pretty nice. There's nothing like too super flavorful. They're just nice, as you said. Pretty okay. It's pretty okay. There you go. Friday afternoon. Okay, I was right. Cool. Hope your Friday's going well. Still got the evening to look forward to. It's evening here. We're at almost 9 p.m. Lynn says, Aaron, my painting won't look like yours. Totally different. First time it's happening. Oh, Chablis is my favorite? Chablis? Not sure, because I don't swell like an elephant. Oh, when you're drinking the wine, Lynn? Is that right? I thought you meant your painting. I was like, wait a sec. It won't like me look yours sort of just because of the colors, Lynn, you mean? First time it's happening? I don't know if you're painting now or later. You're surprised, though. I assume because of your colors, they're all a little bit different, maybe. Oh, when you drink wine, okay. You are? Oh, sorry, Lynn. I didn't know if you were painting now. You've been typing a lot. I wasn't sure if you were painting as well. That's all good. What's different about it? Is it the different colors? Yeah, because of your phthalo. There it is. Okay, that makes sense. That's okay. Yeah, you're like, first time. Oh no, what's happening? Oh dear. That's okay. Like you said, that's your favorite phthalo. So if it's different and it's making a phthalo you like and purples you like, that's absolutely fine. Roll with it. It's all left up. No, it's not. It's fine. I'm sure it's fine. It's all left up. No. Absolutely fine, I'm sure. You've got the different phthalo. You said you use a Christmas red as well, so I'm sure your purples are very different if you're using those 2 different colors there, 2 different brands. Absolutely fine. You know what, Lynn, as long as you like the streaking and as long as you like the sky, it's totally fine. F up. Jeez. Let's do like 1 more minute just in case anyone's working on the sky still and having fun kind of streaking around. We're gonna go down to the water after that. I'm gonna get more red ready. Just for a heads up, we're using more purples and more pinks. You can see it's a very purple-pink painting, so if you want to prep your palette a bit, you can maybe reload a little bit on some red and blue if you're running low. It is F up. Appreciate the censoring. Family-friendly channel. Oh, excuse me, you know what? I want to correct myself. I said I used a little bit of yellow in the sky, and I'm looking at my original, I can kind of see it. If you're interested, I did add kind of like a peachy pink down here. I want to be honest and clear. This is kind of a peachy pink right here. So if you wanted one more color, I will add it. I'll give everyone an extra minute or two, so sorry. You can do kind of a peachy pink, just if you want a little bit more of like a yellow glow in there. Let me teach you how to do a peachy pink, just in case you want that. If you like your sky now, you don't want to mess with it, that's totally fine. That's my fault for not going through that. But yeah, peachy pink. I just want to use a little bit of yellow, lots of white, and some red. So it kind of looks like a pink, it just has a little bit of a warmer touch to it. It looks, again, peachy. And I did add a little bit of that down here. Oop, that's very light. Let me just darken that a bit. A little more of a medium peachy color. And I'm gonna blend that in. It looks very harsh and stark right now, but once I blend it, that'll be fine. So sorry again, my fault. I've done that before. I need to learn to look at the original more, because sometimes the colors on my computer don't really match what the original has, honestly. So yeah, I add just a tiny bit of streak of peachy pink down there. I'm just gonna blend it with some purple around it. So again, even though my color is dry, I can re-add some color around it. So I'm adding some purple, brushing around it, and we won't know the difference. It all looks nicely blended as is. So again, still kind of looks pink, like it's still kind of in the pink zone there, but has a touch of yellow in it to make it peachier. And again, you can play around by adding color on top of it, kind of dulling it down, putting color around it to blend it. I'm gonna add some pink around it to blend it. So again, whatever you want. If you like what you have, don't worry about messing around with this. Otherwise, if you want to attempt to add it, go right ahead. It's totally doable to add. And yeah, I remember doing that because I wanted, like, there's no sunshine in this, and I wanted maybe the hint of, like, maybe the sun just set, so I wanted maybe a little bit more peach down there. Anyway. Thank you for your patience there. Ah, Cindy, I thought you were having a guest teacher. No, that was a joke he made. We were discussing about Forrest maybe painting in the background as a joke, and I couldn't figure out how to set him up, honestly. I don't have another tall easel. I have tabletop easels and no table. But we're discussing maybe figuring out a different stream, Cindy, maybe in the next week or two while he's here, where maybe we're both painting. Who knows, maybe he will teach me, I don't know. But for today's toot, I wanted to make sure it was still me, so no. Lynn says, water, I'm down on my canvas, no place for water. That's okay, the water can go on top. I think that's even better. If you're too far down, you got lots of room to go on top, so you're absolutely fine. Gray says, I bought phthalo blue just so I could have vibrant colors like what you get, Erin, but it's the exact same color as my deep blue. It's very odd. Is it this one though? I can't stress enough how many times I've either tried phthalo blues or heard other people say phthalo blues but not start Academic Acrylic, and it's different phthalo blue. I'm not sure if you bought the start or something else. Let me know though. Hey Ryan, welcome back! How have you been? I've been offline for a couple weeks too, so not to imply you haven't been here, I just haven't been online as well, so it's nice to see you. Yeah, I can't believe I managed to stream. Yeah, absolutely. Again, I've been very offline, so don't worry about it. I'm back though. I just had 2 weeks where I was not streaming at all, so don't worry. How are you doing? Are you still doing school right now? I'm not sure if maybe you're off for a little bit in the summer or have a little bit of time, but update us on what you've been up to. Sky that I'm painting, gosh, mine is not looking up. That's okay, that's okay. Gosh, it's the sky I'm painting rather than the water. You're fine, Lynn, you're fine. You know too, if you ever want to send photos, you're welcome to after stream. Peach, yeah, I can go over the peach again. It was white with a little bit of yellow and then a little bit more red. So it's mostly the red versus the red yellow and some white to lighten it up. That's right in there. Right in there. Yeah, Gray, that's unfortunately the problem. It wouldn't make, yeah, it doesn't make sense that that's the problem because it's like, shouldn't phthalo blue be phthalo blue? But I find brand to brand, phthalo blue specifically is so different. I wish it was consistent. I don't know why it's not, but it just seems to be that that's the way it is. You know, like white is consistent, black is consistent, yellow I would say as long as it's like a primary or bright yellow, you know, that's all the same. The reds, like I said earlier, sometimes differ if it says like warm versus cool red. This is called bright red according to Start Academic Acrylic, but I find blues in general are just all over the place depending on brand, so that's all I can say really. Yeah, great. Don't try Artist Loft or Winsor Newton Phthalo. It's not working. There you go. Yeah. Chris and I want to make a trip to Curry's. Yeah, I think that would be great. I know you can order online. Shipping might get pricey because paint is very heavy, but yeah, please make a trip to Curry's. Even call in and maybe they can like reserve stuff for you if you want to do curbside or something. Yeah. I know there's some, not close to you, but semi-close. It's definitely a trip, I guess, like you said. You can make a trip. Todd says different quality of pigment, different concentration of pigment, different fine. That's true. Yeah, that's true. Depending on, I guess, like, quality and cost, maybe there's more pigment in colors. That's a good point, Todd. Yeah, all of these contribute. True. Ryan, we don't really have summer holidays. Our school system ends in December. Oh, that's interesting. But we got through exams. Oh, good. Okay, I'm really glad to hear. That's interesting. I was just kind of learning about that recently, that some areas do like year-long stuff. They don't have, summer vacation. I'm used to summer vacation in Canada, but some districts and areas do like all year round and maybe do like a week or two here and there. So at least you got exams. That's great. Hopefully you can relax a little bit. Yeah, I'm glad it's over too. I remember exams and hated them. They really stressed me out, so glad it's all good. Yeah, with Liquitex Basics, I think it's primary blue, primary red, etc. Yeah, I think Liquitex Basics does have things like warm red, but I use the bright red. And then blue, I use phthalo blue. Yellow, same thing. There is definitely a warm yellow, but I use bright yellow. So yeah, I should specify that. You're right, Destiny, because even Start Academic has different ones. I'm just gonna keep going, then I'll keep responding here. So let's move on to the water now. The water, we're going to do kind of similar things. We're going to start dark and go lighter. We obviously have different techniques this time, but we're going to start again with a very, very dark kind of bluish purple. That's just a very dark purple we can use as our base, and then we'll start to add the little waves on. Let's go back and do the same thing we did before at the start. We're just adding lots of blue with a little bit of red in there. So it still does make a purple, but it's a, again, bluish purple. It's a very deep, dark purple. And here's where I can demonstrate about kind of covering the sky. So a lot of people were saying their sky went maybe too far down or they don't have room for the water. You can simply go on top of your sky, just add this nice deep dark color and just cover up whatever you don't want to show, or whatever, you know, wherever you want your water to be. It's not necessarily about covering up something, it's just about adding the water where you want it to be. So I am going a little slow at the top here because I want my waterline to be as straight and horizontal as possible. And again, right on top of my paint. As long as it's not wet. If it's wet, it might be, you know, kind of mixing a little bit, but if it's even just like in the middle of drying, you should be able to wipe right on top absolutely fine. So I know sometimes it's frustrating for acrylic to dry quickly, but this is where you're like, thank goodness it dries quickly. I can just go on top, put something else, or change something up. And that's the benefit to that. That's still a little slanted. I always have trouble slanting it just a little bit. Let's try one more time. And I'm just using the thin edge of my brush, but some people use the wide edge, kind of just spreading the bristles out like this. It's all up to you. That's all kind of preference-wise. Some people as well like to flip their canvas and do like an up and down line. I think I like horizontal better, so I'm just going to keep going horizontal. But yeah, flip your canvas. Sometimes flipping it helps with orientation and direction. Okay, I hope that's straight enough. Whenever you're done concentrating on getting that straight edge and the straight line, you can just start to fill in all below here. I'm just sweeping across back and forth. Alright, I'm missing some comments here. Let me catch up. Yes! Yeah, that would make sense, Gray. That would make sense. Perfect. That would be like just about halfway. Maybe. Yeah, that's an easy stop on the way there. Destiny says they also have phthalo blue and cadmium yellow. Yeah. They have a really wide range, Start Academic Acrylic. I swear I don't work for them. Like, I feel like sometimes I really push that brand. It's just because it's all I've ever used. And everyone seriously asks me, what exactly do you use? I want the exact colors, so I just want to be honest about it. I don't get paid by them. I wish I did. I wish I got some sort of a kickback every time I made a sale, but I don't. Creative Jules, hey, thanks for following. Welcome in. I'm just in the middle of doing a step-by-step acrylic painting tutorial, so I'm kind of switching between chatting and teaching, but yeah, join in on the chat. Lots of people chatting tonight, having some fun, so let us know. It sounds like you're a creative named Creative Jules, so if you paint, let us know. Or if you have any questions, let me know. I hope you're having a good Friday. Welcome in. Todd, I hope the Galleria series, or I think the Galleria series uses green shade phthalo, guessing because it looks reasonably similar. Gotcha. And Jen, hello again everybody, you're all doing amazing, can't wait to see Jen, you're such a good motivator! Welcome back in! Brian says, our holidays are more scattered around the year, especially the celebratory holidays, and besides our December holidays, our longest holidays. Okay, last a week during the term. Gotcha, a Muslim holiday, I gotcha, okay. Yeah, and that's kind of nice, Ryan. Like, again, I was only learning about this recently, and I was like, you know, the idea of, like, I'm in school year-round is, like, you know, not appealing to some, but if you're putting a lot of breaks in between there, I don't know how long the breaks are, but yeah, just lots of different breaks, it might actually, I don't know, I wonder if I would prefer it, but I'm sure some would. And it sounds like that's what you've grown up with and are used to, so yeah, I'm sure you don't mind it. I hope you don't mind it anyway. Mm-hmm. Whee! Oh, Jen, I'm glad you're back. Todd. I want to know what she says, though. I think she likes Philly. I could be wrong, though. So I'd assume it's more of a petting a kitten. Lynn says, I'm not putting down the company that I just mentioned, but for those colors, not good. Lynn knows what colors not to buy, in case anyone's wondering. Lynn, I'm so sorry you're having issues. I'm really sorry. I wish I could just give everybody Start Academic Acrylic who follow along just so everyone gets consistent colors as me. But I cannot. Oh, you're fine, Lynn, you're fine. I thought I was expressing your deep hatred and emotion for those colors. Just to note, the other thing I'm doing, everybody, is I'm doing lots of long back and forth strokes. It's helping me kind of spread the paint out, and it is helping it dry a little quicker, because we'll be doing lots of layering, where we're layering colors on top of each other, and I don't want everything to be like soaking wet as we do that. So just kind of brushing back and forth will help spread out the paint evenly. There's no big like lumps of paint hanging around. So I'm just doing that as I go, and then I'll also kind of let this rest for maybe a couple minutes before we start adding our waves. So just so you know, you still have some time if you're adding this one color here. Oh, well Jen says jumping in a tiger cage, so that came out of nowhere. Oh, I was unaware of that, Todd. Don't know anything. Yeah, me either. Face up, because you know that's where I live. You're like, it's all good, it's fine. Depends where, says Jen. Some parts are great. Westchester, your side is great. Okay, Todd. Most beautiful state. That's, yeah, honestly, Jen, that's why I thought you were gonna recommend, because, yeah, based on, like, the photos you've shared and you talk about kind of the wildlife and the nature that surrounds you, I think it's, it sounds very appealing. It sounds really great. Yeah. Love everything about it. I can't promote enough. Oh. Yeah, I didn't understand the jumping in tiger cage then, but maybe that's running a hitchhiker? I don't know. Story, I don't know. Alright, so I'm doing something wrong here. I keep touching it. I shouldn't keep touching it. I do want it to dry. So once you put this color on, try your best to stop touching it. Just let it dry for maybe a couple minutes. We're just going to sit here for a couple minutes. We can keep chatting, and then we'll start to add more colors on top. I'll maybe zoom in the meantime and try and show you all these lovely waves here. There we are. So we're going to be adding lots of small little streaks of different colors, kind of doing the same idea, lightening purples, lightening pinks, not lightning, lightening. Yeah, and then adding these small little waves here and there. And I'll teach you all of that soon, but for now, you can just kind of look at it. Excuse me. Caterer says, lovely too. Much prefer my area. Central NY is gorgeous. Gorgeous. I haven't really explored New York, like you're saying central New York, like New York State, I assume? I haven't really explored the state a whole lot, Kate, honestly. I've been to the city a couple times, and I'm not a huge fan of the city just because I don't think I'm really into city life, and New York is like, I think, the city for city life. But otherwise, I trust you when you say the state's gorgeous, if that's what you're saying. Yeah, Charlene, that's good, that's good. I hope you're enjoying painting too. I'm just gonna turn the music down. It's kind of blasting in my ears. There we go. Back up a little for you guys. There we are. Ryan says, growing up I always thought summer holidays lasted from the 1st of June to 31st of August, so I always got jealous because, whoa, 3 months of holiday, but looking back on how I feel, like we get more holiday than places that have summer. Yeah, there you go, exactly. That makes sense, and then if you're able to travel or you do travel, then that's kind of cool too. You can kind of experience those seasons and just have time off in every season. Yeah, I think a lot of people, Ryan, relate summer to like time off, and yeah, it means you can kind of go outside more and do that, but honestly for me, winter is about that too. If you have the proper gear and you're into winter sports, it's totally an outdoor season as well, and you can have equally as much fun or holidays in winter as well. So yeah, I can appreciate kind of having holidays all the time. Yeah, you went on a big road trip. You want to like update us on the whole road trip, Jen, if you want, like where you ended up going, what you saw? I know you told me a little about it, but if you want to chat about it, feel free. Like favorite spots, etc. I see, Kate. Oh, thanks, Ryan. I got you, Kate, yeah. I honestly wasn't sure if you meant like middle of the city, and I was like, ooh, not my thing, but yeah. Middle state, I'm sure it is beautiful. Again, I really haven't explored the state at all. Like flown to the city, flown out. Pittsburgh. Got it. Lynn says, it's a good thing that I took a small canvas tonight. Gosh, because my painting is not drying. Tomorrow I'll buy Start Acrylic. Another one. Another one buying the Start Academic. That's good. It's, again, everyone has preferences, but honestly, if you want paintings to look like mine, just color-wise, I would recommend getting the same brand for sure. Yeah, I don't mean to say they can't be replicated without any, you know, using different brands or like, you know, replicated in a different way, but truly, if you want the same purples and like pinks and reds I get, yeah, it helps to get the brand. I should start to add links maybe, just so people can get directed exactly. If anyone needs links, I'm always happy to supply those. Actually in Discord, I'll link that one more time. In Discord we have a whole channel dedicated to art supplies and kind of like supply questions, and I think I have a pinned message with links to all of these things, like the brushes I use and canvas and all that, so if anyone is interested, it's right there. Yeah, if you need links, and because I understand Curry's, again, isn't everywhere. Hopefully they ship to you, or maybe you can find Stark Academic Acrylic somewhere else. A very comparable brand for the States, Dick Blick, I've been told, like sells paint kind of in these bottles. It looks very similar. I can't vouch for the pigment or the color or whatnot, but just in terms of a value brand that comes in higher qualities, I think the Dick Blick brand has some good ones. Oh, thank you. Gray just provided us with a link, so there you go. If you click that, that brings you right to Curry's. And you can see, yeah, they have warm yellow versus bright. I use bright yellow, I use bright red, phthalo blue, and then I think it's carbon black and titanium white. But lots of colors, so if you don't like mixing purple, you can buy a violet from them, and it's beautiful. Yeah, they have green, they have brown, they have lots, so feel free to look. Kate says, you should get them to sponsor you. I know. If I had contacts at Start Academic Acrylic, I totally would. Kate, I've honestly considered a few times now calling up Curry's specifically and saying, Curry's, I send people to your store all the time. Could I please get like some sort of a discount code to offer you guys, and then also have some sort of a kickback to me? That would be beautiful, because then I could allow you guys to save money and also get compensated. That would be amazing. So maybe I should just get on that. Maybe I just need to pull the trigger and say, you know, go for it type thing. Because, yeah, the worst they can say is no, right? Not like I can, yeah, be too embarrassed by it. Worst they say is that's not something we do, and I say, okay, and I go back to streaming, so it's alright. Yeah, absolutely though, Kate. I need to think about that kind of stuff more. Just because these are honestly things I use, and I wouldn't want to promote things that I don't use. Yeah, I love these paints, so. Check on Curry's, they deliver. There you go! Yeah, Lynn, there you go. So even if you don't have a Curry's location, they might deliver to you. I think they're Canada-wide. I'm pretty sure I've heard people in East Coast buying them, not sure about West Coast, but like Nova Scotia, like way over East Coast, and I think they've been able to get them. Yeah. There you go. Ali says Blick has very similar bottles, so there you go. At least the quantities and price point are similar. I don't know about pigments, but At least you can start there if you're in the States. Thanks again, Vray. Ryan, something else I learned is the reason summer holidays are a thing, because it's easier to deal with other seasons than summer. Work and school-wise, which is why our long holiday is during the coolest time of year. Oh, yeah, so you're opposite. That is interesting. I never really knew why. I assumed it's just because people like the warmer weather and want to be outside more, but I never really thought about the logistics behind it. So there you go, yeah. And I know, right, that's interesting. You have lots of differences. I think at one point you were asking about, not time zones, time changes, like the daylight savings time, I think, right? So yeah, it is interesting how we all differ a little bit there. Grace says, when I go there, I'll say a Twitch streamer talks about you all the time. That's why I'm here. You know, that honestly might help. I don't know. If you could call up head office and tell them that would absolutely help and say, I just bought X amount of dollars of paint because Twitch streamer erinbunpaints, da-da-da-da. Straight up, I'll let you guys know if I ever contact them and need things like that, need like proof, because that would be awesome. Hey Ash, welcome in! Going good, we're just doing our step-by-step tutorial. I think we've left enough time for this to dry now, so I will move on to the next step, but welcome in Ash, I hope your Friday night's going well, let us know what you're up to. And yeah, for those who are painting along, I'll continue with you now, I just wanted to let this dry a little bit. So, if you're checking your paint, it still might be wet, mine is absolutely still a little tacky, you can see I maybe left some little fingerprinties there, but that's okay. As long as it's not like super wet, that's all I'm looking for there. So what I'm gonna do now, I'll zoom in again and kind of talk a little bit before we start. I'm just going to start layering on these lovely waves. I want to zoom in and really show you what's going on because it looks complicated, but all it is just lots and lots of layers. So what we're going to do is we're going to first lighten up some of our purples. So we'll kind of take our bluish purple, maybe we'll add a little bit more red to it, and then some white, and we'll start to add these small little horizontal lines way out in the distance, very quick little horizontal lines. And as we move down the canvas or closer to us, we're going to start to do maybe tiny little bumps in our little lines to make them look a little wavy. My little mouse moving, kind of waving along, so nothing too crazy. I didn't want my ocean or body of water to be too choppy, just a little bit. And then as I get further down, I would say I make these almost kind of like, ooh, I don't want to say triangles, kind of like very flat mountains, let's say that. Because they kind of have little sharp peaks to them. I like these waves that have little peaks. I found when I was looking at photos of waves, nothing was really like super rounded. It's not like it was like a rounded hump of a wave. It was more so like, whoop, it comes to a peak and then comes back down. Peak, comes back down. So that's what starts to happen as you come further down. So we're just gonna take lighter and lighter colors and keep adding those, just kind of stacking them on randomly. And then as we get to the very light colors, like the light pink, we will start to add those in specific places. But as we just kind of lighten up the colors in general, we can just kind of add these randomly and allow them to stack. Hopefully that all makes sense. I will re-describe that as we go. I know it's a mouthful to begin with, but just as a little preview of what's coming up, I wanted to tell you. So use whatever brush you like, of course, as usual, but I'm going to switch to medium round personally, because it has a little more of a nice tip. Rounded means that all the bristles kind of come to a nice little tip like this, so I can do some nice thin lines and really control my brush stroke versus the flat brush. You know, all the bristles are lined up, so it's a little harder to, yeah, do like the little peaks that we'll be doing, personally, I think. But yeah, use whatever brush you're comfortable with. So I'm going to start by creating a purple that's just slightly lighter, and maybe a little more red too. I like to add a little more red to make the purple brighter as well, so I'm mixing maybe a little more red into my previous purple, and then some white. Lots of comments there. I'll be catching up in a second, everybody. So hopefully you can see that on my plate there, how it's a little lighter than all of our darker purples we have. I'm gonna start with that. And when I'm trying to do some like thinner lines like this, sometimes I do wash out the brush after mixing, because mixing really pence up your brush with paint. Your brush gets really like fattened up at the tip. All the bristles really catch a lot of paint, so sometimes washing it off and then reapplying just a little bit helps to keep the shape of the brush. So when I have my new color, I'm going to start by doing, as I said, very small little horizontal lines. Just very quickly and sporadically. I'm not trying to do perfect little lines every time, nothing like that. But lots of little ones, just anywhere on this top top inch or two, the water's very far away, all the little waves are very far away, so we're just gonna see tiny little horizontal lines or tick marks of purple. Kind of all close together. They can overlap, that's okay. Just quickly putting those on little dashes. Everywhere you go. And if there's some gaps in between, absolutely that is fine. That's the whole point. You want to have some gaps of this dark purple showing through. And also keep in mind we'll be adding lots of other lighter colors on top. Hopefully you can see that. It's hard for me to tell. But yeah, you'll be able to add lots of other layers of color as well. So you'll start to see more brighter colors on top and just be able to fill up the space a little bit more as we go. I'm gonna try and chat as I do this here. A little place where I buy my painting stuff, just have to tell them I'm following a course with that person. She is real and I have a little discount on my purchase. I know! Wouldn't that be great? Again, that's what I'd love to do rather than just like I get a compensation for you guys buying. I would love to work at a deal where I say just give us like 5% off, something really small. And in return, all these people will buy your paint. Something like that would be lovely. I'll see what I can think of and do. Again, that's maybe a future thing I can do, but I'll keep that in my brain. Alright chat, one other thing about comparing your paint with Erin's paint. Lighting will affect your colors. Very good point. God has a lot of good points here. Yeah, digital cameras may also not correctly record colors. You can even see, I'm sure, a difference between this and my digital. That's just, again, pulling from my screen versus pulling from real life versus what's actually real life. Yeah, for sure. I try my best to get it as accurate as possible. I don't try and like edit my photos unless it means it's getting closer to the original in real life, but yeah, I understand that sometimes it appears brighter or just different tones, so there you go. Sea green is bad for this, there you go. Alright, Ash, just drove to my parents. I'm gonna play in football. Oh wow! Like American football? Or is that, like the soccer kick with football? Joyce, hello! Thank you for raiding in! Wow! Joyce, hi! Are you ending a little early tonight? Usually we raid you on Fridays. Hi! Welcome to Joyce and all your lovely viewers. Hello! Welcome in. We're doing a step-by-step acrylic painting tutorial right now. Joyce knows all about them. Thank you so much, Joyce. Yeah, and I'm teaching everyone step-by-step how to create this painting down here. I'm using acrylics. I do this most Fridays. I'm taking a little bit of a sporadic break for August. I'm doing less of these in August, but hope to get back to them for September. But yeah, so if you're ever interested in learning on how to paint, that's pretty much what I do. I do a lot of other art stuff on Twitch, but yeah, most Fridays I teach people step by step, and I also have a lot of tutorials on YouTube if anyone's interested. But Joyce, tell us all about what you've been doing. I can't do a whole lot of showing off just because I am doing the recording for the tutorial as well, but just as a general shout out, I love watching Joyce. Again, we raid her all the time on Fridays, especially because she's online then. Boston Girl, I believe. Yeah, welcome in. Thank you for following. So yeah, you guys, a lot of you all know Joyce, and she's a lovely, lovely human. So please check her out though if you don't know her, if you want to see some really, really trippy, cool art. She loves her sloths as well. I think you did a store update semi-recently. If you want to talk about that, Joyce, please go off. Tell us everything. Lots of ink, lots of beautiful prints and stickers she does too. Yeah, check her out if you haven't already. Again, I'll continue to try and catch up with chat here as I teach. I just want to do one more little step here. I'm now moving down the canvas and just doing some of the little, tiny little bumpies, as I described before. I'm not doing like huge bumps, I'm just kind of wiggling my brush as I move it left to right here. Making slight little bumpies. Asked about time change, still find that so cool. Yeah, it's just interesting how it all differs, Ryan, from place to place. Shay, oh, yes. Ah, there you go. Good, Shay. I'm glad. Yeah, no, it's fine you didn't answer, I'm sure. You're busy painting. We'll see the results soon, I'm sure. Anyway, welcome in, Annie. We've got, Kamikaze Mixtape. Hello, I'm sorry if I botched your name. Miko Bites, I recognize you from Joyce's channel. Daniel as well. Hello. Oh, Joyce says my schedule's an hour earlier now. Good to know. Good to know. I'll still tune in Fridays if we can. But yeah, it's fun to have this switch up, man. It's always fun to visit you on Fridays, though. Absolutely. Thank you. There's Joyce's Instagram linked. Again, usually I like to feature artists on the screen. and kind of talk about them and show them off, but just because we're doing a step-by-step tutorial and people are following along, I will leave that to you guys to please click that Instagram link and check her out if you're at all curious about what I was saying about Joyce. Thank you so much. Great stream. Did some Friday the 13th. Oh, right, because it's oh, spooky. I knew that was coming up, and then I completely forgot today that it was Friday the 13th. Nothing cursed has happened to me, so that's really good. Like, what exactly, Joyce? Were you doing Friday the 13th related? I'm curious. Yeah. Had wholesome vibes today. Wanted to bring community. Oh, thank you very much. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. I think it's always pretty wholesome in your chat, honestly. I know you get a little goofy chaotic sometimes, but that doesn't mean it's not wholesome. I think it's always pretty nice in there, so thank you. Kellyanne! Of course I know it's you, Erin. It's Kellyanne. Yes, I know. All good. It's nice to see you. I saw your comment on Facebook recently saying, Erin, I miss you. I wish I could reply to all of them, but I saw it. I saw it, Kellyanne. This painting is awesome. Yay! Are you still painting along with me, like on YouTube and stuff? How have you been? If you have a minute to chat, I'd love to know what you've been up to, how your summer has been, etc. Yeah, I'm almost done. I wouldn't say I'm like at the end of this tutorial, but we're getting there here. We're just starting this these waves. But yeah, it's good to see you, Kellyanne. Thanks for popping in. I'm just gonna teach one more step, then I'll get back to chatting here. Just grabbing more of this purple, and now I'm doing what I call the what do I call them? The short mountains? I didn't call them short mountains. They were like, not tall mountains. Flat mountains? I think I called them flat mountains. Oh my gosh. So yeah, just kind of like going across, going up to a peak, and then back down. Up to a peak, back down. They're a little bit longer too, because again, these waves are closer to us, right? So they're gonna be bigger in all ways. They're gonna be a little taller, a little wider. So again, taking the tip of my brush, sweeping across, going up to a peak, at them so nothing again is all lined up or anything. Hopefully you can see this purple. It will get brighter and brighter with each color, so if you still want a better visual, you can either again look at the original or my paint will get lighter as we go. And I'll go a little quicker as we go too. Now that I've really described the shapes that I'm making, we're just doing the same thing over and over again with different colors. But again, as always, take your time, take as much as you want. Alright, I got alert. Sounds good, Joyce. Yeah, if you've already gone, it's okay. Again, I'm slower on chat with Toot Nights, tutorial night, so all good. You lurk away, thank you. Hey, well, Boston Girl, thank you very much. I don't know if I missed you in chat there if you said hi or anything, but thank you for subscribing with Prime. Wow, thank you. Maybe you've been enjoying the tutorials without me knowing, or just enjoying the channel, but either way, thank you so much. That's very kind of you. Again, supporting me for free. If you have Amazon Prime, you can support me for free by subscribing. For free. How many times do I say for free? Thank you, Boston Girl. I really appreciate it. I hope you've been enjoying everything. Let's see. Evo. It's okay if I call you Evo. Love the mood of the painting, like the upcoming movie Dune. I haven't seen a lot of trailers or footage from it. I am interested in watching that. I haven't read the book or anything. But I'm trying not to like watch too much of it and spoil it, but that's kind of cool to hear that I kind of drew inspo from that, maybe. But Evo, welcome to the chat and thank you. Friday the 13th, Erin, what did you do with it? I didn't do anything, I swear! Gray says Curry's paint is cheaper than the paint I bought on Amazon. It was no-name brand too. Curry's all the way now. I think it's some of the most affordable paint. I don't know how many times I can promote it, say it. It's great. Start Academic Acrylic. Look into it. Thank you. So, I've got the first layer of colors on here. What I'm doing now, everybody, is I'm lightening my purple a little bit more. I'm only going to lighten this one more time here. And then we're going to move to pinks and start to do the same thing with pinks. So I'm just adding more white to my existing purple. And again, I'm not looking for the brightest purple ever. You can see there's no real super light purples. So that's about as light as I'll go right here. It's more of a medium to light purple. It's not lavender or anything super light, but you'll see a significant difference if you add even just a little white to your color. And I'm just doing the exact same process. I'm going to do some quick little horizontal lines on the first inch or two of my water. And then I'll move to the small little bumpies, and then I'll move to the flattened mountains. Keep on that flat mountains. You can see that a lot better now. I'll remind you as well, if you ever get to a point where things are looking a little blobby, you're not getting any nice thin lines, just wash out your brush and then try applying just a little bit of paint to the tip or to the bristles. I find that catches me all the time. It caught me there. I thought I was getting really blobby, so I just washed the brush off, applied the paint again, and now it's all fixed. It's nice and thin again. Alright, so I'm just gonna keep adding as I chat. Kellyanne says, so busy with school, I haven't been painting for so long. That's okay. Yeah, everyone goes through little things in life. Hopefully you're able to make time soon. If you've been missing it, yeah, if you found something else that keeps you calm and all that, that's fine. But I hope school's been going okay. I know you said you've been busy, but I hope it's been good. Yeah, you too, Kellyanne. It's been really nice that you popped in. Again, I really appreciate your comment on Facebook, so thank you, thank you. Yeah, Flat Melon, thank you. That's you remembered, you remembered. And Becca, hello, nice to see you. Sorry again, I'm going very slow on chat today. I feel like I'm keeping everyone waiting for minutes today, but nice to see you, Becca. I hope your Friday's been going well. We're just finishing off our two. Still not really finishing off. I don't know why I keep saying that. We still have a couple more steps at least here. Not quick steps either, so. Yeah, how's your Friday been going, Becca? Yeah, thank you again, Boston. Yeah, Boston Girl just joined. Okay, wow, thank you so much. That's very, very kind. It's not often that people come into the stream just joining and subscribe right off the bat, so thank you very much. It's very appreciated. And we joke that it's Jeff Bezos money because, again, it's free to subscribe with Prime, so it's, I like to think of it like we're taking money back from Jeff, so thank you. Thank you for contributing to taking money away from Jeff Bezos and giving it to someone smaller. Thank you. Ryan says, time zones are an amazing thing, making me question if it's truly Saturday or if I missed classes today, right? Next time you're late, just, you know, well, I'm not late here. If I were in this state or if it weren't daylight savings time, I'd be fine, right? That won't fly. Don't do that. Please don't do that. But they are truly. It's weird to think about. Especially for me, Ryan, yeah, with so many people from different places, it's like, happy Friday, and truly it's probably not Friday. It could be Saturday, it could be Friday morning, it could be a variety of things, so it is weird. And the idea that, like, those ahead of us are almost like, in the future. It's very bizarre. It's weird with music. If I'm following certain artists and like waiting for albums to come out, they come out depending on your time zone. It's not usually worldwide at the exact same time. It's like in Australia they will drop first, and then in Europe, and then here. So it's weird to think people get to listen to music, you know, first or second or third based on where they are. It's always a little weird, a little trippy. Yeah, I'm just going on to the kind of little bumps and lumps here. I'm not quite at the mountains, I'm just kind of in the middle of the water, so doing quick little, just tiny little waves as I sweep across horizontally. And just to clarify everybody too, these don't need to be like section, 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 of course. You can kind of put a couple of these little wavy lines in and amongst the straight ones, just so it looks like it's more of a transition. I wouldn't want it to look like there's one section followed by one section followed by one section. You want them all to kind of blend together and mold together like our colors, right? We wouldn't want the colors to look like very separate sections. We want them all to kind of work together and flow together. So same thing with this, just you can kind of allow them to cross over a little bit with one another. Let me keep catching up here. Oh, Becca, did my raid work? Oh no, I don't think you raided in. I could be wrong. I don't see it here, Becca. Sometimes Twitch does funny things depending on how many people are in the stream. I think recently they changed it for like if you have below a certain number, unfortunately. But if you rated in, thank you. I appreciate the effort either way. If that's truly what you did, feel free to chat about what you were streaming. We would love to hear if it was, especially with art related, but anything at all, Becca. Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't think it did work. Yes, Lynn, it's hard. Chatting is hard. Friday's good, says Becca had to go into city and work a long commute. Okay. But yeah, if you were streaming, feel free to let us know what it was about. Somebody isn't Lynn, you're funny. I stopped for tonight's stupid joke. You're funny, Lynn. No, you're funny. Somebody. Queen, welcome in. Am I able to see this again? Yes. I will keep this video up here on Twitch for as long as Twitch allows me to. I think it's for a month or two. So if you come back to this channel after I'm done, in like half an hour to an hour, you will be able to watch this video back on your own time. I will then upload it to my YouTube page, youtube.com/erinbunpaints, as soon as possible, probably within the next couple days, in the next week, something like that. So absolutely, Queen, you're welcome to. Oh, thank you, Gray. Gray answered it all for you right there. So listen to Gray if you had any questions. Thank you, thank you. Evo says, who is that bobblehead figure behind you? Looks familiar. Do you know who it is for real? It's Bob Ross. We got a whole Bob Ross shrine back here. I should actually move myself over because I'm kind of off center. Yeah, you can see lots of Bob Ross stuff back there. Feel free to take a look. And that was Rick Sorry if I'm botching your name. Welcome in. Thank you for following. I appreciate it. Doing a step-by-step acrylic painting tutorial. Enjoy the show. If you have any questions, let me know. Thank you. Again, thank you, Gray, for all that info. Ryan, yeah, I mean, it might depend on the artist, but I'm pretty sure, when I'm following certain releases, yeah, I follow, like, Reddit subreddits and Reddit threads about it, and the first person who posts is usually in Australia, because they get the first listen and first release, and then people joke about it, they're like, oh, it's Eastern time zones have to wait, blah, blah, blah. Yeah! Music drops same time. I could be wrong. Maybe it happens sometimes, but I'm pretty sure. I'm very sure, in fact, that I have seen it happen where it depends where you are. Because it's through Spotify maybe that they know what time zone you're in and it wants you to wait till it's midnight your time zone. So yeah, certain people get first listens before you do. Or me, I guess. Mm-hmm. I know, she does such a good job with all the question answering too. Becca says, no big deal, it's just me and maybe one other, not sure, making, oh my god, that's cute! Becca, again, I usually love to feature art, like live on stream, but because I'm doing a tutorial, I'm not doing it today, as I don't usually do any Friday. But if you want to post it in Discord and show people, feel free. I would love to see what you were working on. And thank you again for trying to rate, even if it didn't work, that's a silly Twitch's problem. Everyone, I'm going to the flat mountains now, so you can see I'm quickly going across, up, and back down. Up, and down. Up, and down. And again, I'm not following where the other mountains were, I'm just kind of sporadically adding these in wherever the heck I want. I'm just allowing them to crisscross a little bit. And you can see it's tempting to start to go quicker with this, but try to slow yourself down here and there if you find yourself whipping these on, because it does matter. You know, if you're going really, really quick, things get a little messy and you start to lose a little bit of the look you're going for. So if you find yourself rushing, just take a little breath, slow down again. I know I have to do that for sure because I'm the one teaching the tutorial. I'm like speeding up and stuff, so slow back down. We're gonna add these little flat mountains. And hopefully you're starting to see the look that we're going for, how it goes from very calm to a little bit more wavy to a little bit more choppy. I still wouldn't say it's like totally, yeah, totally wavy and choppy, but getting a little bit messier as we get down. A little bit more wavy. There we go. I think that's about enough. So again, you can see how I've overlapped some. I'm trying not to clutter it too much. I'm just gonna stop there for a quick minute and then we'll move on to some pinks. We're gonna kind of do the same thing but with pinks next. And then the name is Russifi. Okay, I think I can get that, Russifi. Thank you for clarifying. Hope you're doing well. I am. Thank you very much. Yeah, I'm again teaching a step-by-step acrylic painting tutorial, so if you have any questions regarding what I'm doing or painting in general, I'm your gal. I'm happy to answer and help you out with painting or any art-related questions as long as I know the answer. I can do my best is all I'm saying, but happy you're here. Thank you. Oh my, I need to get one. I love Bob Ross. I got that as a gift, or else I would tell you where I got him, but unfortunately I don't know because it was a Christmas gift from my family. I also have a Chia Pet Bob Ross that I still haven't started. It's really bad because that was a Christmas gift too. I still have the seed sitting there and I should really try and start him so he can grow his beautiful green head of hair. You can see he's bald right now. And then I have a little crochet Bob Ross from Amethyst. If you ever see Amethyst in chat, she made that crochet Bob Ross and he's painting a little bun. Our little bun logo. So yeah, that's the Bob Ross shrine for now. Maybe it'll grow. I also have this laminated Bob down here, and I have a Bob Ross calendar up there. It's Bob Central in here, so I'm glad you all like it. Yeah, Evo, I'm glad you like him. Absolutely. Imagine changing your location on Spotify for early release. I don't know if you can, right? Maybe. I don't know if they know if it's like, you know, turning on location-based stuff or if you need to say, but I totally would. I know I've waited, like, I've wanted to go to bed before midnight, but I've waited for a certain release to be like, I want to do the first listen, so it would have been more convenient for the afternoon. Jen, I love the vibe of this painting because look like they taste like raspberries and blueberries. Thank you. Yeah, I wanted just nice pinks and purples. Obviously, my favorite color combination. Blue, pink, purple. All of them work together nicely. It's vibey. It's beautiful. Thank you for saying that, Jen. I appreciate it. Oh, good, Lynn. I'm glad. Well, maybe you can make a bigger ocean. You can cover up more of the sky. You lucky, Forrest. You lucky. Forrest is making taco soup. I can smell it. Can't wait to have some later. Lori, hello! Late to the tutorial. No worries, I appreciate it still. Yeah, we're working our way through. We're just doing a couple more pink layers, and then we got little sailboat and birdies, and then we're all set with this one, actually. Let's get on to some pink, and I'll keep catching up with chat here. So, using the same brush, I've washed it off. I'm going to start with a nice kind of darker hot pink, and then I'll do some lighter pinks and light pink. Oh, battery time. The light pink is what's going to really highlight these waves. It's really going to kind of shape them up. Right now they're all very, not blended together, but kind of piled on top of one another. And all the colors are just kind of working together. But the light pink is really going to help shape up certain waves here. Okay, let me turn this back on. I want to fix the brightness for a second here. Let's see if I'm looking. Maybe, maybe not. Dang, hold on. He keeps resetting the brightness and I don't know why, because it usually doesn't do that. It's the top one. There we go. Alright, cool. Alright. Back to the step I was just doing. So mixing red with a little bit of white. So it's again kind of like a nice hot pink to begin with. And just as a heads up, when you put this hot pink on top of the purple, it might appear even darker. So don't panic if that happens. That's kind of intended. The dark pink really blends in with everything. It won't be as bright because on here we were adding it on top of white, a very light color, and here we'll add it on top of very dark purple. So if it appears darker, that's why. But we're doing the same thing. Just start with your little horizontal lines. And then we'll do the little bumpies and then the flat mountains. Just do more here. Yo, Ryan! Yeah, Loki looks like sand dunes. Who just told me it looks like the movie Dune? Like they said, like from footage and trailers, they kind of think it looks like that. That's so neat, honestly. I really don't mind. Low-key, it looks like some sand dunes rather than water. I like that. Everyone sees little different things in paintings, and you know, mine will eventually have a sailboat, so hopefully makes it look more watery, but yeah, if it's just a vibey pink-purple sand dune area, that's fine with me. You do a Bob Ross in person? I do sometimes, for Channel Point redemptions. They're not on right now because I'm doing a tutorial, but Evo, if you stick around for another stream, there's actually a Channel Point redemption where I do a whole Bob Ross show. Like, sorry, not a whole one, it's not 25 minutes. It's a mini version. I take the little mini Bob Ross behind me and I zoom in on the screen and I pretend to be Bob Ross for like 5 to 10 minutes. So if you stick around for another stream, you might actually see that. Yeah. Yeah, and we have Bob quotes and everything. Yeah. If I paint something, I don't have to explain what it is. There it is. Yeah, lots of good ones. Right now I'm trying to fix up a dragon sculpture. Oh wow, that fell down instead of trying to color match it. I'm just gonna make it look like it's scars. That's kind of cool, Ryan. I like that. I like using little problems like that and just making new things out of it rather than, like you said, like fixing it up to what it was. Color matching. Color matching can really suck sometimes. I mentioned earlier that I've been, I did touch up the edges of a bunch of my paintings and I had to color match for that, and man, it was difficult. I don't mind doing it for small little things, but doing it with 50 paintings is very difficult and not fun, so I think that's a good call. No. Please don't set the place on fire. It smells good though. Thank you, Lori, thank you. He's enjoying. Maybe he answered you, I'm not sure. Oh, hello there. Ooh, this is a name. Jacqueline. My name is Jacqueline P. Jacqueline P, welcome in. It was just hard with the caps, but I got it. Jacqueline P, welcome in. I'm doing a step-by-step acrylic painting tutorial. If you have any questions, let me know. If you want to just chill out and chat, that's fine too. I'm slowly working through the chat, and there's lots of others chatting as well, so I'm sure you'll get some welcomes and some hellos if you want to chat. Otherwise, enjoy the show. I'm finishing up the last few steps of this painting here, just getting some pink on the water. Yeah, I think he's enjoying it. We told some stories yesterday on stream, of course. Yeah, today there were no rude interactions with people. I told that story yesterday. I went to the grocery store and had quite a rude interaction with a lady who was insistent that we shouldn't go through the exit doors and needed to go through the entrance doors. But whatever, we didn't experience that today. Nothing but kindness, so I think he's enjoying it. He's not arrested yet, so that's great. Not working, so he's good. Oh, sorry, Lynn. The color is a hot pink, so lots of red, a little bit of white. And I was just warning everyone earlier, it might look a little different than this one if you use kind of the similar color, because you're putting it on a darker surface. So just be aware of that. If it looks darker, that's why. Thank you. Lori answered hot pink. Thank you very much. Why not put a bus, Ryan? You said you haven't been here that long, but you don't forget. You did not forget anything, despite taking a little break. So you're right in here, don't worry. A bus with sand dunes. Just rolling over the hills. Don't forget to paint the sides, yeah. I mean, thankfully. Evo, thanks for the official follow, I appreciate it. I guess you want to see that Bob Ross impersonation another time. Yeah, in case anyone's wondering, I'm not painting the sides of this just because I don't plan on like selling this, hanging this, etc. This is like my second version. I have my first version, which I have the sides painted of, but one reminder for everyone else, paint your sides, thank you. Edges, yeah, we need an edges command. I should make that in Streamlabs. It just like shouts, don't forget the edges! Need something funnier, just all caps, something really chaotic. Look at your edges! Thank you. Attention, attention! Yeah, exactly. Oh, fun, Charlene! Going rafting on Sunday, she says. That'll be neat. Have you been before? Or is this maybe your first time? Alright, I'm going to the flat mountains now. And I'll say, regarding this color of the flat mountains, I start to kind of try and pile them on the same areas as the other purple that I did, so I'm finding the, yeah, the lighter purple, and I'm just kind of adding even like maybe 2 versions of the flat mountain. So what I mean by 2 versions is I go maybe in one spot here like this, and I'll do a second one. So it's kind of like I'm doing 2 nearly identical flat mountains, not necessarily on top of one another, just kind of offset, so it looks like there's just like a thicker edge, if that makes sense. There's just more strokes within that little mountain. It kind of bolds it a little bit more. We start to see, what I'm trying to do is we're starting to really see these waves. We don't want them to be as sporadic and random. We want to really start carving them out so you can actually see them amongst all the chaos going on everywhere else. So again, I'm going to look for a nice kind of light purple flat mountain. I'm taking my hot pink, I'm going kind of on top of it, maybe leaving a little exposed, so like offsetting it. I'll do it a second time, same thing, kind of offsetting, so it's not like you're literally just going over twice. You're kind of going over the same spot twice, maybe offsetting a little each time. Again, just kind of making it a little thicker, a little bolder. It's almost like you're trying to see like double vision, you know? It's like you're crossing your eyes and you're seeing kind of 2 of it in a way, but they're all kind of in the same spot. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. So hopefully you can kind of see how it's really starting to carve out these waves a little bit better. Again, not as sporadic, not as chaotic. Like all up here, it's all very sporadic and just all over the place. That's because it's further away, we don't see as much definition back there. 1, 2. 1, 2. And again, do this as much as you want. If you want a couple more, add in a couple more. I think that's good for me. It looks like a nice transition from the nice, very flat, little wavy, and then bigger waves there. Careful, Friday the 13th in Canada, the border can be we're not going across the border, thankfully, unless we go in the next 3 hours, but I don't think we will, thank you. Bob says, don't forget to make all these little things individuals, all of them special. Yeah, they're all different, Bob. They're all a little different. Each stroke is a little different, each color may be a little different as well. There you go. Ryan says, I asked some people yesterday, but does scars fade lighter or darker? Because mine fade darker. That's an interesting question, Ryan. Like, against skin, they kind of show up lighter. But I could see, like, if it's like a scab, maybe if you're thinking more of like a scab, like dried blood, I would think that's kind of darker as well. And you might kind of think of it like a shadow. And again, I'm thinking of like human skin, right? Usually it's a little lighter, but maybe it was a dragon, right? Dragon is kind of scaly. You might see like an indent, like a scar might be just like a big cut, you know? And I would imagine that's darker. So I wouldn't say that's wrong if you think it looks darker on yours and you think it looks, you know, good that way. I would keep it, honestly. I think that makes sense. Never celebrate a big day. Oh yeah, is it your birthday? Wait, your birthday? Oh, this is your celebration for your birthday, which was like in March. Is that right, Charlene? First time. That'll be fun. Oh, it worked. Great, you master. Look at that. The edges, don't forget. That's perfect. That's actually perfect. The edges, don't forget the edges. That's all we need. Is it okay to wait? Oh, yes it is, Charlene. Absolutely. Yeah. Is that what you're talking about? Sorry, just to clarify, you said that you're kind of like celebrating your birthday now, right? Yeah, there you go. Good, I'm glad you're finally doing that. Rafting will be fun, especially for your first time. I think you'll have a good time. Charlene, or Shireen, excuse me. I think I've been saying Charlene, essentially Shireen. IG name, everything is erinbunpaints. Oh, thank you, and thank you. Oh, that'd be great. Yeah, I always announce it at the end and remind people if they want to, if they want to share their painting, you can tag me on like anything and I'll probably see it. I like to check the tags even if I don't reply to everything. Second drawer. It's not like that though, it's flat. Yeah. Yeah, IG, thank you, Gray. All of them is erinbunpaints. Instagram is instagram.com/erinbunpaints. So try that and I'll be notified if I'm tagged, so I'll absolutely see it. Thank you for thinking to do that. Okay, I'm giving like one more minute and then we just want to add some very light pink, and that's going to be very, yeah, very light on top of everything you'll see. We're not going to do the same thing as we've done everywhere. We're going to do this very, not sporadically, very spaced out. Much less. All we need is love. Lynn, where did that come from? It's true though. Not a Bob quote, but still a good quote. But yeah, as Shireen was kind of indicating, they're tagging after you've done your painting. Please do that. I love to see what everybody made. It helps everyone else see too if you tag me or like hashtag erinbunpaints. I know people use that and search it sometimes. It's really cool to kind of have collectively seeing what everybody made. It makes us feel a little more like we really did all paint together, because we did. We just weren't in the same spot doing it, but yeah, we all did for sure. Grace says, it's funny because when you started adding the little lines in the flat mountains, I thought, I don't know, but it's all kind of, yes. Yeah, that's always a good one. Grace said, trust the process. It's a very good thing to remember, and I need to remind myself of that all the time, because even I doubt myself. Even when I'm teaching, I'm like, how did I do this? Am I doing it right? Blah, blah, blah. But yeah, it all does truly come together when you start to do more and more and more and more. If anything, I honestly should maybe do a little more of the dark pink now that I'm looking at it, but yeah, just keep going until you think it's starting to look, yeah, look a little more like you see it there. Or a little more like you want it, even. I keep encouraging that it doesn't need to look exactly like mine. So do whatever you feel. I'm just adding a few more of these little lumpies here, little lumpies and bumpies. I want it to be a little more pink personally, just to match my original. But yeah, as Grace said, with a lot of my tutorials, I know if you look at it halfway through, you're like, that is not the same painting, or you're looking at yours and saying, there's no way I'm gonna get to the finished product, but you gotta just keep going. And even that's outside of tutorials too. That's with any painting. The underpainting, if you work that way, kind of doing an underpainting and sketching things out, it's always gonna look a little weird and a little like, I don't know what I'm doing, so you really gotta just keep pulling through to really see how it looks at the end. When you get all the details and like little highlights on, makes a huge difference. Okay, I like that a bit better. I love to see every painting, even mine with the wrong phthalo. Yeah, absolutely! Well, that's honestly, Lynn, that's my favorite part, is seeing the differences. Like, if they were all the same, they're all the same. It's just like, okay, another painting, but they're all a little different. Even if they're not intended to be, your streaks are always going to be a bit different, colors are always going to be a bit different, so I think that really showcases how they can all be very cool in their own way, even though they're all different. It's not like the original's the best, it's all just base, and then you do what you want with it, so absolutely. Alright, let's get this light pink on here. So this is really what's going to make it pop. So I've grabbed the same brush, I've washed it off, and I've made a light pink, so lots of white with a little bit of red. Very, very bright and light. And this time, I'm not adding a lot of this. I don't want to overwhelm it with light pink, I just want this to be kind of the little twinkly highlight on things. So I will add some little horizontal lines, just way less of them. So really making them small and spaced out. It's kind of like if there's any light left in the sky. No, there's no sunshine, but if there's any light kind of reflecting off, it's just hitting a few of these little waves now. We're not hitting all of the waves, we're just doing a couple here and there. Start with a few, and then you can add maybe a little more and a little more, but you don't want to overdo it, because this is truly, again, what makes it really sparkle. It'll still make it overall appear lighter, but you don't need a lot to do that. So you can see just a couple here and there. For the bumpy, same thing. I'm just going to highlight a couple of the little bumps. So again, I am looking for bumps that already exist. I'm not trying to make new ones. I'm kind of looking for the dark pinks or any of the purples that I want to just kind of touch the tops of. So I'm not making a whole big bump. I'm just taking the tip of my brush and kind of going at the top of the bump. Boop, boop. Boop, boop. Boop, boop. Boop, boop. So it looks like, again, the light is hitting off the very tops of the waves there. It's not going to hit the bottom part, it's going to hit the tops. Or even if you want to do like a little side, that would work too. Kind of just going on the way up and then not really going on the way back down. That works as well, just hitting something on it. Again, not many. If you're worried about how many, start with just a little tiny bit, then you can always go back and re-add more. And then lastly, again, when you get to these flat mountains, I again like to do the tips of those, so I kind of just do a small little point, small little point, small little point, and you can see it looks like just the light is just catching and hitting off of those. I will actually add a literal sparkle to some of these, but for now I'm just doing this light pink. Again, if you want to switch it up a teeny bit, you could do like the side, like maybe coming down the side of a mountain a little bit. Kind of highlighting in a little edge. Again, as long as you're doing just a couple. Not many. Again, overdoing it will kind of lose the effectiveness of it, right? You want it to be just very special little highlighted areas. Cool, and that's how you, again, really start to shape these out and really like show the viewer the shapes of these waves and really point out that you have some special waves that have some light hitting off of them. Lynn says, keep believing the master of your painting will come through. Yeah, you gotta, again, it's like trusting, like if you're following a tutorial, honestly, trusting the process. Like, I did make this original painting, I'm sure I can do it again, but also trusting yourself. Like, if you've painted enough that you know that you can do it and you know you've produced something similar or that you can challenge yourself, believe that you can do it. You gotta push through it and just kind of see it through. And if it doesn't turn out the way you wanted, that's okay too. I'm sure you learned something throughout the way and you can try either the same painting, and I know lots of people do that now. They do the same painting a couple times so they can learn what they wanted to do, I guess, in the beginning stages to help with the later stages, and that really helps too. So yeah, absolutely, Lynn. Lynn says hers is very dark. You still got lights to add. You can still pile on those light colors though, so wait for that. Gray said it's cool to see everyone's painting because when we see it, it's got Lynn's touch or Shay's touch, whoever's painting. Every painting is different. Absolutely. It's yeah, you're right, Gray, too. You almost see consistencies. Like, oh yeah, like Shay does hers like a little softer, or so-and-so does theirs a little bit more edgy, or like brighter, or different paint colors, yeah. When you get all the variety of paintings from the same people, you can start to kind of point that stuff out. And it's their style, yeah. You all have styles, even if you don't know it. Boo Boop is so cute. Who's Boo Boop? Like Bob? Boo Boop? Bob? Hi Hearts, hello! Welcome in. That's a cute little comfy emote. How's your night going? Kate says, love my painting. Thanks so much, Often. Oh, good night, Kate. Glad you enjoyed. I've got like 2 or 3 steps, 3 steps left. Maybe Kate jumped ahead or did her own thing, and that's cool. And maybe some of you have done your own thing or finished up. That's absolutely fine. Or need a break. That's cool too. But I have a couple more things to show you here. Very tiny little things. You can see like pretty much the whole thing's covered. You know, we got some concepts and ideas in here. I just want to add a couple more details. So I'm gonna first of all add these little glitters. Let me show you. I like these tiny little glitters in here. They really showcase like a couple very special waves. So to do that, I make an even lighter pink. I first of all have moved to a tiny brush. I'll suggest that. Move to a teeny tiny brush if you have it. And I'm making a super light pink now. Move my mouse out of the way. Super light pink. So adding more white to my existing pink. And maybe the glitters aren't for you. Maybe they're a little too like sparkly, but I personally love them, so I'm gonna add them. So I've got a very light kind of baby pink here, and I'm just gonna choose a couple special waves to really highlight here. I'm just gonna add a tiny sparkle on the tops of some of them. So the sparkle is just a nice vertical line and a horizontal line crossing through. I like to make the vertical line a little bigger. I think it just looks a little better offset rather than having the 2 lines the same size. Or sometimes I intersect a couple more lines, so I'll do like a longer vertical, shorter horizontal, and then I'll do like 2 shorter diagonal lines as well. It's like a very sparkly star. I just know sometimes depending on your brush it might kind of blob it up a bit if you do that, so if you think that's a little too much intersecting 4 lines, then stick with your 2 lines. But I'm going to try my best to do a couple that have the diagonals in them. I'll zoom in again so you can see the full thing, but you can really see them popping out on my new one that I'm painting here. Maybe I'll do 1 or 2 more. And actually, I should have left that for the end because I do I do a sparkle? Yeah, I do a tiny sparkle on my sailboat, so I will redo this step for the sailboat, but otherwise I was just itching to finish my waves here, so that's why I wanted to get those in there. Let's do 1 more. I'll do 1 on like a very far away lump one. There we go, that's fine. Cute. So yeah, no pattern there, no specific ones, just wanted to highlight a couple and really make them sparkle. Lynn says normally I would not show my painting because that's not, because for me it's not perfect, but it's nice to see others. Yeah, absolutely, Lynn. Only if you're comfortable too. I know sometimes people don't want to show and that's okay. I just hope it's not like embarrassment or you think it's not good enough, but yeah, if it's more so you just want to keep it to yourself, that's fine. Oh, you went boop boop when you were adding highlights. I see. Ryan, sometimes I don't know the noises I'm making. I know I make noises when I paint. Boop boop. Yeah. I just like ch-ch-ch-ch. I make a lot of painty noises, so thank you. Now that I know that's what you're saying. Bless, yeah. Yes, special wave and you're a special wave. Oh, and I think you're a special. It's tempting, Gray, to say all of them are special. Absolutely. All of you are special. I want to highlight all of you, but then the highlights aren't as special, you know? It's contradicting, but I get it. Yeah. I'll leave a quick minute, and then we'll do the little sailboat and the little birdies. Yeah. Shireen, love the noise you make. Thank you. You will hear more. I keep referencing if I do one of these Bob Ross impersonations. It's called a Bibby Ross, because his name is Bibby Ross. We call him Bibby Ross because he's like a mini Ross, so Bibby Ross. Lots of noises when I do those because I make all the brush sound effects that he does. Things like that. But yeah, I always say to people, if making noises helps you paint a little bit better, gets you a little more just like in it, you know, do all the noises you need. Little doot doots or boop boops, whatever you need. Ryan, I gotta go now. Meeting absolutely all good. Ryan, it's lovely catching up with you. I'm glad all your exams are over. Thank you very much. Toodles. Yeah, have a good one. Good luck with your meeting if it's an important one. Yeah. Thanks for tuning in again. All right, let's do this little sailboat. Sailboat is going to be 2 colors. It's a very, very dark purple, and then we highlight with just a slightly lighter purple. Let me zoom in. That will help you see a little bit better. I was looking at my original, that's why I was looking down there. Look at that little guy. Move him over coming across the screen. Yeah, so you can see the general shape of the sailboat. Because he's so small, we don't need to worry about details. We're just doing kind of a straight horizontal line, and then a slightly curved line down here for the little bottom of the boat. I will then do a vertical line kind of off center for the mast, and then two kind of curvy triangles. I do one curvy big triangle on the right, and then a curvy smaller triangle on the left. Very long triangles, like very tall, you know, and then just only going the width of the boat, so nothing, the sails aren't going past the actual boat here. They're all kind of contained in here. Hopefully that made sense, and I will paint it for you as well. Hopefully that helps for you to see and visualize. I'm using my tiny brush, of course, because it's a tiny little object. I'm mixing together red and blue. I would say maybe half-half at this point, maybe a little extra blue, just anything to make your nice deep dark purple. Any dark purple will do, let's just say that. If you like the reddish purple, you can do that, or if you like the bluish purple, you can do that. Just any dark purple to begin with. Mix that a bit better. See my name tonight many times. Ross here, Ross there, it's true. We got the Lynn Ross and the Bob Ross. Never thought of that way, Lynn, that you, maybe you have heritage to Bob. Oh yeah, the ding! Yeah, absolutely. I actually referenced that earlier, Cindy. I did the little sparkles a little early. I was like, I should have just left it because I do a sparkle on the sailboat, but yeah, it is definitely the tooth gleam. Ding! I will do that when that happens. You'll see. So I've got my dark purple, and it might be a little hard to see on my canvas because it's smaller and because I'm going in a dark area, but again, I'll describe it. I'm doing a horizontal line. I'm starting just below the horizon line here. Because the boat is in the water, it's not going to float on the top, right? It's going to be still in the water a little bit. So below the horizon line, or below the top of the water line. Starting with a horizontal line, and then doing a slight curve down, and then over. Just a very, very shallow curve. You can fill that in. I'm gonna make my, oh, I'm gonna make my mouse a little longer. Yeah, very important. I like the sparkles in this one, Cindy. It makes things just shine. Alright, so again, might be very hard to see what I just did there, but hopefully the original is helping. There's nothing wrong with having a tree as a friend. A classic. Alright, I'm gonna add the vertical mast, so that's gonna go, again, I like to off-center it. It's a little to the back or a little to the left of the boat, what I would imagine is the back. So, a thin-ish vertical line. Doesn't have to be the thinnest line, of course. You can see it's still semi-thick. But again, that is a little off-center. If my center is here, I moved it a little left. Just a little. And then I'll add my two triangles. So if you can see here, there's a tiny gap in between the triangles and the mast. It doesn't need to be a perfect gap all the way down. It kind of like wiggles and maybe touches the mast here and there. I just kind of like having at least a little bit of a gap to kind of see through. Because the sails, right, they're not like literally attached to the mast, they're kind of roped in, so they might be kind of waving in the wind a little bit. So I try my best to keep the triangles a little separated from the mast if I can. So I'm just going to do the first edge of the triangle up here. Hopefully you can see there's a little bit of a gap in between, tiny, tiny bit. Again, if you shake a little bit and touch the mast, it's no big deal, as long as there's just a little gap here and there. And then what I do is I kind of do a curve on the edge that comes down towards the boat. So I kind of curve in and then out again. So it curves in and then out. It's like a slide almost. You're kind of sliding down the sail like that. And then a very simple horizontal line on the bottom. You can fill it in, see how it looks. Keeping the edges, or the corners rather, nice and sharp. Trying to keep it very small and sharp at each corner. Gray, I was just telling Chrissy that I took Frederick out to dinner tonight for his birthday. Oh, happy birthday to Frederick! Please tell him. Finally. Oh right, was that a while ago? I forget. And the service is some of the best service we've had. Any restaurant so much I'll go out of my way to make sure the place knows how good. That's great! I'm glad. I wonder if, you know, I really think there's a good change right now in terms of companies kind of waking up and treating their employees to get better. I would think and hope in the service industry specifically. I know like wages are changing and certain compensation benefits, etc. And maybe that's a direct result, Gray. Maybe employees hopefully are feeling a little more appreciated and wanting to come to work and do their best. Maybe it's a mix of that and you know, that places have been closed for so long and wanting to impress. Either way, I think that's a good change. I'm glad you're, you know, wanting to recognize that, because that's really nice. I know from working in the service industry in the past that it's really special to be recognized that way. You kind of forget that each experience is kind of individual and special, and when you hear back from someone, they say you did a great job, it really means a big thing. It's a really big difference. Everyone, I'm just doing the exact same thing on the back, just a little smaller, because again, the mast was kind of off-center, so you'll have less room for this triangle. It's going to be a little more like elongated, it's going to be a little taller. Kind of quickly curving down and having a small horizontal bottom. Yeah, I wonder what that is a direct result of, but those are my guesses. There we go. Alright, and then if you want to add a little extra before we add our little glint, you can do a little bit of a lighter purple and just kind of do a little sweep of light purple, maybe on the, you know, edge, any edge you want, because again, we don't technically have a light source. I just like the idea of maybe a little bit of light hitting off of certain spots, so I kind of do a lighter purple along the curve of this sail, maybe around the right-hand edge of the other sail, maybe on the top of the boat, just so it looks like it's a little darker on the bottom, things like that. Again, it's if you want to get technical, there's no light source, so maybe some would say there would be no highlights, Erin, but in my painting I want some highlights, so that's what I'm doing. Sometimes we break the rules like that. And honestly, that's what you should do. If you want to do that in your painting, do whatever you want. I love how your paintings are the same, but always— they are, yeah. I'm honestly looking at this sail and being like, it's kind of different. But Cindy loves it. Tonight's painting looks like the sun is set lower in the sky. I think they're equally as pretty. Thank you. I was commenting earlier, I think it's a little darker in this one, but yeah, I like it too. Thank you, thank you. Gray says it was just such a nice evening, and having that service just makes it even— absolutely, it makes it way more special after so much time of waiting. Do you mind asking me asking where you went? If it was such a good time? Yes, thank you. I try and do what I want. I'm gonna add the birds, and then we're adding the final little glint. I'm gonna go back to my dark purple. That was red and blue mixed together. Nice deep dark purple. I'm just adding very quick and simple birds. You can see in the zoom up here, they're just V shapes. I describe them as kind of curved V shapes. We kind of curve up and to the right, up and to the left, up to the right, up to the left. And it just looks like that they're birds way off in the distance, flapping their wings in the sky. So I just really try my best to get either my brush to a nice tip, or I just brush it on the plate, you know, and the bristles all line up. And that way I can get some nice thin lines. So I try and do a little curve up to the right, curve up to the left, up to the right, up to the left. And it looks like two little V shapes or two little birds way off in the distance. Thank you. I do what I want. A Brazilian steakhouse. Oh, great food, so much good food. I don't know if I've ever been to a Brazilian steakhouse. I've had friends in Toronto talk very highly about that experience. And I don't think I've ever been. I would like to remember that though, if it was great food and such great service. Hold on, I'm gonna sneeze. Never mind, I guess. I don't know, it went away. Do birds fly when it's dark at night? I would think, I don't know. I don't think they exclusively don't, but I'm not sure if they do. Maybe like not often. I don't know, I guess I'm not looking for birds at night. I'm not quite sure. Are you asking because your painting's dark? I would still make them fly. You can do whatever you want in your painting. Alright, the final step here, as Cindy pointed out, as I did add a little glint to my sailboat. Yeah, when they're bats, true. Are bats birds? Argue now. Yeah, Cindy reminded me, and I did see earlier, I have a little glint on my sailboat. It's a little more subtle, but it is there. Yeah, and I what I do is I create these paintings live on Twitch, just like casually over like a 5-hour period, and then I reteach them in a 2-hour period. And usually when I'm painting on Twitch, I have people give me suggestions, you know? I like feedback when I'm doing tutorial paintings because I want to know what people want to see and suggestions for the painting. And then you said make it like a little tooth glint, like when, you know, typical smile and a little ding happens. So that's what we wanted to do to the sailboat. So quite literally the same thing I did over here. I'm just adding it to the very tip top of the sailboat. Just doing our little light pink color. I'm doing the longer vertical line, shorter horizontal. It's just on the top of the sailboat, a little ding, little glint on top. This is a little brighter than my original. I would say my original looks a little more faded. Maybe it was just a little less paint, but it is there. You can hardly see it, but I swear it's there. Right there. So don't forget the little ding. And that's that. Oh, Boston Girl says, according to Google they do. So there you go. Lynn, your question is answered. If again that's why you're asking. Thank you, Boston, for looking that up. And for Cindy for the suggestion of bats. Perfect. Ding! There you go. Another paint noise just to end it off. Point noise. One last paint noise to end it off. Alright, and yeah, that is the last little step. I wanted to add the little glint as the last step. I thought that was a cute idea. So I'll just encourage everybody, if you are done, I would sign your painting. If you're still working on it, leave the signature for later. I think it's really cool to sign it right at the end. It kind of solidifies the painting and tells yourself that you're done, because I know that's a common thing. People want to paint forever and they don't know when the painting's ever done, but sometimes giving it a little signature is like, I can finally relax and rest. All good. So yeah, sign it wherever you want. I usually do the bottom corner, but people can get creative with that, of course. Yeah, thank you again, Boston. That's nice. Oh yes, and yeah, I didn't say it at the start, but as always, I post this to YouTube, and I do look for name suggestions for the painting itself. Lori said, Into the Sunset. That's a good one. If anyone else has suggestions, feel free to put them in there, and you might see the name chosen. I know Lori's has been absolutely chosen before, because she comes up with some pretty good names. So yeah, if anyone has suggestions, give them. Oh yeah, I gotta do some Vogue. I'll do my closing announcements, and I'll do a little Vogue pose as I need to learn to do it before 8 p.m. because then I get all shiny and sweaty, but I'll do it still, I'll do it. Oh, I'm gonna move this back so you guys can see. There you go. Cool. So as usual, everybody, thank you for joining me tonight. There was a pretty good size of group here, as usual for the tutorial night, so thank you very much for tuning in as always. Again, I know everyone always likes to support me, but I always just say even just tuning in live is enough, so thank you for doing that in general, and just for being here. And if you got creative with me, again, thank you very much for painting along and all that cool stuff. If anyone wants to post any photos of their paintings when they're all done, I always encourage that, because as I was saying before, and as everyone was saying before, it is so neat to see everybody's interpretations of the painting, and it really helps us realize again how many people were truly like having fun painting along. It makes us feel a little more together still in these weird times of the pandemic. So there's lots of information in the chat about posting photos. I always suggest going to the Facebook event page. I still think that is one of the more popular spots to go. So I'm just going to make my way back there to open that up for posting. So if you do want to post anything in there, there's like, yeah, there's 2,000 people that responded to that event. So yeah, you and the others can post away. Yeah, Facebook is great. Instagram is great. Discord, we have a lot of different little art sharing channels as well. So any and all places you're welcome to share your painting. I love when I see them, so please do that. In terms of the next tutorial night, I honestly don't have one planned. I've been referencing a lot on Twitch streams, but I'll reference again here that my schedule has been a little sporadic, especially the past month and in the upcoming month. I have a lot of projects and goals going on right now, including opening up an art store, which is really exciting, but it's a lot of work. And I find tutorials take up a lot of time in terms of creating the painting, scheduling, actually doing it as well. So I'm trying to like kind of take, not really a pause, I'm just doing them a little bit less here and there, and it is helping me with kind of freeing up more time for just streaming as well as working on art store stuff. So Yeah, it's a really exciting thing. I'll be talking a lot more about it on social medias when I have like dates figured out in terms of opening. I'm getting close to that, so yeah, I'll let everybody know. I'm really, yeah, it's a huge thing I've been working on. I'm very excited because it's nothing I've ever really done. I've never sold art before, truly. I've, you know, been contacted about buying art, and I've sold a piece or two like privately, but I've never really, there goes my battery. I've never really sold art before, so or yeah, attempted to sell art, merch, anything like that. And we have such a nice big community here now who's been asking for that, quite literally like begging me and saying, can we please purchase something of yours? So I'm really excited to be able to do that, and it's been taking up a lot of time. So just keep your eye on all the social medias if you're interested in step-by-step tutorials. They're not going away, they're just a little bit sporadic here and there. So Facebook is the best place to look for, I would say, for that. Discord as well, but yeah, I'll still be streaming in the meantime as well, so if you're just wanting to like hang out with me and, you know, find time to get creative or ask me anything, I'm still online on Twitch at least a couple times to a few times a week. So yeah, you can look for me there. That's fine. What else? Oh yeah, YouTube. If you want to rewatch this, I'll do my best to upload this to YouTube, this whole tutorial to YouTube soon. Otherwise, this video will be on Twitch right here for the next month or two. So if you want to come back and review anything or rewatch the whole thing, you're welcome to do that. And I don't know if there's anything else. So if there's any other questions, let me know. Oh yes, yeah, Gray is saying merch, yes, stickers, prints, all. I have a lot coming. It's I'm honestly looking at all this stuff that I am releasing and being like, why did I do this all at once? But it's just the way it happens. So I have lots releasing, lots of options. So it's gonna be really, really cool. I appreciate everyone sticking around and being understanding that my schedule has been a little weird lately, but it's good. So yeah, again, if you need to skedaddle now, I appreciate you being here. Thanks for coming. I'm gonna go through the comments and make sure I'm saying bye to everybody and then doing some little Vogue modeling for my thumbnail, and we'll see where we go from there. So thanks again for coming. Have a good evening if you're on your way out.